Chapter 1890. Revenge, yes, revenge. These two words could be said to be the only thing that could make Song Dong's blood boil. After being disabled, Song Dong had been like a frosted eggplant. His mind was full of how to recover himself, and he didn't think about revenge at all. Now that his father mentioned this matter, Song Dong's eyes flashed with a green light. He wanted revenge very much. He wanted to make that woman pay the price for kicking him into a cripple. If that woman appeared in front of him now, he would definitely make her beg for death. He would let her suffer all kinds of torture. "Dad, you found it. Did you catch the woman who kicked me?" Song Dong's eyes widened, and his flashing and excited eyes even distorted his shape. "Bring her to me. I want to deal with her personally. I want her to die. I want her to know what is hell on earth." Slap. Song Xiong gave Song Dong a slap in the face. He really hated his son for not living up to his expectations. What was he thinking in his head? "Dad, why did you hit me?" Song Dong was dizzy. "Did I do anything wrong? Why did you hit me? Can I make a mistake lying in this hospital bed? Can you at least give me a reason to hit me?" Song Xiong gasped with hatred. "I gave you a reason? I tell you, Song Dong, since ancient times, a father doesn't need a reason to hit his son. But today, I will give you a reason that will convince you wholeheartedly. Why did I hit you, right? All right, I'll tell you clearly now, why did I hit you? Tell me. There is no reason why you can't hit me." Song Dong was also spoiled by Song Xiong since he was a child. He really couldn't accept this, even if the other party was his father. "Who the hell did you offend? Tell me, who the hell did you offend?" Song Xiong said, "I arranged so many people to wait beside the car, just to wait for the person who hit you to appear. I will catch him for you. But, do you know who went to get the car?" Song Dong was stunned. It must be Su Yun and that woman who took the car. Who else could it be? Yes, it could also be their friend. They asked their friend for help to get their car back. "Dad, could it be that the person who took the car wasn't the owner? It doesn't matter, even if he isn't the owner of the car. It must be their friends. As long as we capture their friends, I don't believe that we won't be able to get anything out of them." Song Dong said, "If they don't say anything and help that bitch bite, then leave it to me. I have a way to make them let go. If I don't kill them, my surname isn't Song." Slap. Another slap. Song Xiong roared, "Okay. Then you shouldn't be surnamed Song. You can King take whatever surname you want. Get out of here. From now on, you are no longer my son. Get out of my sight now." Song Dong was slapped a second time. If it wasn't for the fact that he still needed medical treatment, and if it wasn't for the fact that his crippled little brother needed his father's help, he would have slammed the door and left long ago. But he couldn't leave now. He still had to heal himself. "Dad, you hit me again. You haven't given me a reason yet." "Again. Am I your biological son?" Song Dong said coldly. "I'm telling you the reason." Song Xiong said, "The people who took their car were from the army. Moreover, they were special armed personnel with weapons and equipment. Do you know what this means?" Song Dong was dumbfounded. Special armed personnel? How is this possible? If the car wasn't driven away by Su Yun, the most he could do was to ask Fu Tian to help him get the car. Fu Tian didn't have that ability. He could have asked the special armed personnel to help him. This was impossible, unless it was the special armed personnel that they found themselves? Soon, Song Dong was shocked by his own thoughts. He looked at his father blankly. Could it be, their background is that deep? "Song Dong, let me tell you. I have to determine their identity now, so you have to tell the truth for every word I ask you." Song Xiong said, "If they have such a deep background, they will never bother with you. It must be your behavior that annoyed them." Song Dong swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He suddenly felt like an outsider who didn't know anything. "I can tell you clearly that I heard it. They are a man and a woman. The man went to chase one of your people, and the woman stayed. As for the woman, I can think of how you offended that woman even if I use my toes to think. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been beaten so badly. Song Dong turned his head away unhappily. As for the man, who did he chase? Song Xiong said, "This is very important." Song Dong was stunned. That person is not my friend. He is Song Bei's friend. Song Bei's friend abroad. Song Bei's friend? Then why is he with you? Then why did that man deal with Song Bei's friend? Song Xiong frowned. Song Bei, that bastard, didn't tell him the truth at all. Song Dong said, "I have a lot of grievances with that Su Yun, so I wanted to find a way to deal with him. I know that he can fight, and I don't have anyone around me who can deal with him. Song Bei introduced him to me as a friend. I saw it with my own eyes. He can beat more than a dozen people, and it was very easy." One person beat more than a dozen people? Humph. Song Xiong's heart was a little heavy. An ordinary person, if he could fight, it would be amazing if he could fight against 3 people. A person who could fight more than a dozen people must have received professional training, and he must be talented. So you asked that person to help you? Song Xiong asked, but since he can fight so well, why did he run away? Song Dong was also distressed about this for a long time. Yeah. I don't understand. At that time, I didn't know what this guy was thinking. He left just like that. He didn't even give a reason. Then that Su Yun chased after him. Song Xiong sneered in his heart. This could only mean that this Su Yun mentioned by his son was definitely better than Song Bei's friend. "How much do you know about this Su Yun?" Song Xiong asked. "I have to investigate him before I can find a way to avenge you." Revenge and that woman. I want to deal with that woman personally. Song Dong said fiercely. Then I have to figure out the identity of this Su Yun first. Do you understand? Song Xiong raised his voice. As a father, he knew the despicable thoughts in Song Dong's mind too well. "Song Dong, I'm telling you. You better not think of so many messy things for me." "I know." Song Dong was a little disappointed, "but I don't know much about that Su Yun. I only know that he is very powerful, and he might be from the army. He has a good relationship with Fu Tian. I don't know anything else about him. According to my understanding, Fu Tian also doesn't know much about him. He is like a dog in front of this Su Yun." Being from the army, that was another answer that made Song Xiong unhappy. "All right, you rest first. I have to figure out the identity of this Su Yun first. Then, I will figure out what to do. This matter needs to be discussed at length. Dad, you must help me get revenge. I will listen to you in the future. Really, as long as you help me get revenge, I will listen to everything you say." Song Dong's mind was filled with nothing but hatred. He had no other thoughts. Song Xiong knew very well that this matter would not be easy to accomplish. "I will not let you be bullied like this. You are the son of Song Xiong." For the entire night, Song Xiong did not sleep. He also did not let his capable subordinates sleep. The next morning, Song Xiong received some reliable information on Su Yun. However, none of this information had anything to do with the army. Song Xiong stared at the words CEO of Sky Entertainment Group on the email for a long time. He would never have thought that this young man was actually the CEO of the famous Sky Entertainment Group. This was the giant of Hua Xia Entertainment Group. Did you know what this meant? This meant that Su Yun, this young guy, was richer than the father of the nation's husband, Wang Tsong. How could Song Xiong compete with him? Not to mention his old bones, even if it was a competition of connections, he might not be able to win. This opponent was the youngest he had ever faced in his life, but he had no confidence in winning. Chapter 1891. Song Xiong was completely confused by Su Yun's complicated background. He knew very well that if Su Yun was only the president of Sky Entertainment Group, it was impossible for him to mobilize such a force to take away his car. Another very important point was that how could a president chase after someone who provoked him because of a fight? How could such an immature person be the boss of a Huaxia entertainment giant? Absolutely impossible. Song Xiongxiong shook his head vigorously. He could guarantee that Su Yun was definitely not as simple as a president of Sky Entertainment Group. Soon, the person he arranged also sent news to Song Bei. Song Bei's European friend was obviously not a good person. He said that when Song Bei was traveling in Europe, he was kidnapped by the local armed underworld. This guy named Clay quickly took care of those people and killed them all in one shot. Because those people seemed to have other grievances with Clay, this Clay didn't mean to save Song Bei, he just helped Song Bei get out of danger. At that time, Song Bei was very grateful to Clay, and the two became friends. It was said that after Song Bei returned to China, he transferred a sum of money to Clay as a thank you. Perhaps it was because of that money that Clay was willing to make friends with such a rich second generation from Huaxia. This time, it was such a coincidence that Clay was in Huaxia, and then Song Dong got into trouble. He couldn't swallow this anger, so he had evil thoughts. Song Dong's evil intentions came from his omnipotent father. He felt that he, Song Xiongxiong, would be able to bear the consequences no matter what happened. Therefore, Song Bei boldly took out Clay and let Clay do it. These bastards wanted to kill him. One must know that a person who could easily take care of several armed men and kill them all in one shot was definitely not an ordinary person. Song Xiongxiong had been immersed in various industries for so many years. He had seen too many things. He knew that if this Clay really had such skills, then he must be a killer. A professional killer. Who else could have this kind of ability besides a professional killer? A professional killer faced Su Yun. Not only did he not take action, but also ran away. What did this mean? Song Xiongxiong's brain spun rapidly. He very rationally and clearly told himself that there must be something going on. Song Xiongxiong was definitely not a good person. He had done a lot of shameful things in the business world over the years. In the face of a life-and-death competition, he had also hired professional killers. Song Xiongxiong had talked to professional hitmen before, so he knew that a professional hitman had a keen sense of smell. If Clay was a professional assassin, it meant that he had a keen sense of smell and could smell danger. Clay didn't dare to fight with Su Yun and chose to escape. What did this mean? This meant that he must have sensed danger. What made him think so? Of course, it was because of Su Yun. Clay must have smelled something different on Su Yun's body. Obviously, a professional killer wouldn't be afraid of a company's CEO. Most of the time, their targets were people with such status. They would never be soft-hearted, and it was impossible for them to escape. If Clay felt that the price they offered wasn't right, he would definitely raise the price on the spot. This was also possible. After all, professional killers relied on this kind of money to make a living. In any case, it was impossible for him to choose to escape. There were two situations now. First, Clay wasn't a killer at all. He was just a scammer. Second, Su Yun wasn't just a simple CEO of Sky Entertainment Group. He had other more dangerous identities. Obviously, from the analysis of the current situation, Song Xiongxiong felt that the second possibility was more likely. If Clay wasn't a professional killer, he couldn't have that kind of ability. Phew. This was difficult. He couldn't even find out Su Yun's identity. How could he play with him? Wasn't this a joke? Su Yun quickly led all the special forces to eliminate the possibility of danger in the central area. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. When Su Yun led the special forces of Dragon's Fury to rest, Chen Feng and Hua Xiaolu surrounded him with smiles. Hua Xiaolu said with a smirk, "Boss, where were you last night?" Yeah, I heard that our sister Yu Meiren didn't come back either." Chen Feng followed up. F***ck off. Su Yun. Nonsense. We weren't together at all. Come on, stop pretending to be boss. We all know that. Hee, just admit it. Why are you still pretending? Su Yun was speechless. When did these guys learn to be so gossipy? Yes, we didn't go back. Last night, the target, Clay, hurt innocent people. Yu Meiren personally went to the operating table. After we finished, it was too late, so we stayed in the hotel. There were two of us in the room. What could have happened? Ayaya, you still don't admit it. Chen Feng smiled cheekily. How is it, Hua Xiaolu? I told you that boss wouldn't admit it. You lost. All the sweet and sour ribs in your dinner this month will be mine. The two of you are good. You even bet in the team. I will tell the team later and punish you. Su Yun tried to change the topic. Although Hua Xiaolu was willing to admit defeat, he was still unhappy. He looked at Su Yun helplessly. Boss, ninth floor balcony. I know everything. F***CK? Su Yun was dumbfounded. How did this rascal know? Boss, did you forget what my profession is? Hua Xiaolu saw Su Yun's shocked expression. I am a sniper. I will definitely observe my surroundings carefully. You and sister, you stood on the balcony for so long and watched us settle our matters. Do you think I didn't notice that there was someone on the balcony? Su Yun slapped Hua Xiaolu's head. Why can't you learn something? Is the profession of a sniper used to spy on others? This is my combat awareness. This is what I should do. Hua Xiaolu laughed. 2 rooms and a balcony? How about 2 rooms and a living room? Su Yun glared at him. If you continue to spout nonsense, I will sew your mouth shut. You country bumpkin who has never stayed in a hotel before. Have you not seen a 2-room room before? SK. Hua Xiaolu stuck out his tongue. Yes, I don't have that kind of luck with women. Of course, I don't need to stay in a hotel. I think you are too energetic and lack training. Su Yun turned to Hua Leitang and said, Shadow Dragon, I think you are too kind to them. In the future, the intensity of the training must be doubled. Otherwise, these little bastards won't be tired enough. Yes. Boss, I promise to complete your orders. Hua Leitang said. Then he looked at all the brothers of the Dragon Fury team. Did you all hear that? After we catch that guy from the Black Fox group, don't blame me for being ruthless when we go back. This is our boss's order. Who dares to disobey? If you are dissatisfied, say it now. Don't complain when you go back. The intensity of the training was already high enough. Chen Feng didn't want to suffer. He quickly changed the topic. Boss, we were very impressive today, right? We scared those people. No one dared to say a word. If you don't even have this bit of dignity, you have lived in vain. Su Yun smiled. The effect in the morning was very good. It was a scene he wanted to see. He liked this feeling. Awesome. There is one more thing. The people from the Song family are really powerful. They actually remembered our license plate and wanted to check on us. They didn't even ask around. Who would dare to leak our situation here? Chen Feng said. After he asked around, we received the news. This guy must be very distressed. He doesn't even have the ability to check a license plate. We are going to teach him a lesson. Money doesn't always work. Su Yun was slightly stunned. Asking around for information about license plates? Hee. The people from the Song family are really good. They have guts. Song Xiongxiong from the Song group. He's always so arrogant just because he has some connections. Does he really think that he can get our identities just by spending some money? Chen Feng said, let him think about it blindly in his heart. Su Yun frowned. This Song Xiongxiong was obviously Song Dong's father. If he wanted to inquire about him, he couldn't let him do it so easily. It seemed that this matter needed to show the Song family who was in charge. I think I need to let Song Xiongxiong know that I am not someone he can afford to offend. Su Yun said lightly. The brothers all became spirited. Boss, what are you going to do? Do you need our brothers to help? As long as boss says the word, we will not hesitate to climb a mountain of swords or dive into a sea of fire. Of course. How could I forget about my own brother when it comes to such a good thing? Su Yun chuckled. He already had an idea. Chapter 1892. Boss, Do you have any ideas? Let's teach that song guy a lesson and let him know what's taboo that he can't touch. Chen Feng said, when I heard that this B***starred was investigating us, I really wanted to give him 2 slaps and ask him if he knows how high the sky is. Su Yun nodded. Yes, we should ask him if he knows how high the sky is. What should we do? Let's go find that song guy now and let him know who we are. We'll show him who we are and he won't dare to do anything anymore. Chen Feng's thoughts were simple. If he still dares to act cool, I'll put a gun to his head and see what else he dares to say. Do you really think of yourself as a bandit? Hua Leiteng said. Even if we want to teach that person a lesson, we can't let him know who we are. If word gets out that we, the members of the Dragon Brigade's Dragon's Fury Special Forces, bullied a commoner, how are we going to answer to the chief? If the chief is really angry, he'll just let us all go home and farm. Hua Leiteng's words were actually very reasonable. As members of the Special Forces, they definitely couldn't be so high profile. They couldn't be so ostentatious. To most commoners, they were invisible. Most people wouldn't even see the shadow of the Special Forces in their entire lives. If they really appeared in the Song conglomerate to bully people, wouldn't they directly make it to the headlines? Although Headline Wong finally made it to the headlines and wouldn't be jealous of them. But this kind of headline wasn't what the Special Forces wanted. Wait a minute. Actually, Headline Wong's only headline at that time was not his. It should be the International Chapter's headline. Why? Why did everyone know that if a loser proposed to International Zhang, it would probably make the headlines the next day? But what if Headline Wong proposed to a loser? It would be strange if it made the headlines. What did everyone think? This time, Hua Leiteng definitely didn't want Dragon's Fury's brothers to be in the headlines. However, if Su Yun gave the order, he couldn't refuse. Therefore, he wanted to make Su Yun aware of this. Although he had not been in the brigade for a long time, he still had to consider his and his brother's identities. Then what do you mean? You mean you won't participate, Chen Feng said. It doesn't matter. We have so many brothers in Dragon's Fury. It doesn't matter if you don't participate. Chen Feng, Lei Ting is right. We can't let Song Xiongxiong know of our identities so easily. If we let him know of our identities so easily, how will he plan his schemes? Su Yun said, that's exactly what we want him to do. We want him to die without knowing why. Boss, are we really going to kill him? Chen Feng was startled. He had never thought of killing someone. Su Yun was speechless. This guy. Chen Feng, your language teacher is an excavator, right? Hua Xiaolu was speechless. Boss, this is a metaphor. Do you know what a metaphor is? It's not really about killing him. It's about making him give up on the idea of provoking US and give up. Chen Feng glared at Hua Xiaolu unhappily. Fine, fine, fine. You're the best. You're the only one who's good at language. That's a must. Hua Xiaolu said, let me tell you what we should do. Our boss definitely already has a plan in mind. Su Yun smiled and said to Hua Leiteng, I won't let us be pushed to the top of the waves of public opinion. Hua Leiteng nodded. He absolutely believed that Su Yun wouldn't do such a thing. Leiteng, take one person with you and stay here. Everything must be done under the premise of protecting the Central. Su Yun said. After that, he turned on the radio public channel and said to all the other Special Forces teams, leave 2 people with individual combat ability and rich combat experience in each team on standby to protect and maintain the status quo. The rest of you, change into plain clothes and spread out to search. All teams will follow the previously stipulated route and prepare to change clothes and move out now. Su Yun's arrangement was obviously the most reasonable. Every building, every shopping mall, every hotel, can't be missed. Su Yun said, plain clothes are to reduce the attention. We can't let ordinary people fall into panic. Do you understand? Long Zhan Special Forces team understands. Long Wei Special Forces team understands. Long. All the team leaders gave Su Yun the fastest response. Su Yun received the response and ordered, start the operation. Except for the members who stayed behind to protect, everyone quickly changed out of the prepared plain clothes and put the large weapons in the trunk of the car. They only carried portable pistols, daggers, and other weapons that were convenient to hide on their bodies. The Song conglomerate's office building was within the search range of Su Yun's team. Su Yun went to find Song Xiongxiong only because it was within the scope of work and he wanted to meet him. Otherwise, Su Yun really wouldn't have the time to look for him. Soon, Su Yun led people to the Song conglomerate's office building. Everyone started to work step by step. Gong Sun Lang quickly started the decoding work and used the fastest speed to link the internal surveillance video of the Song conglomerate to his computer equipment. Then, he quickly transferred it to everyone's wrist terminal equipment. Everyone could see the Song conglomerate's internal surveillance system on the small screen of the terminal equipment on their wrist. Su Yun quickly divided the tasks for everyone to search on the floor. Everyone also switched the screen to the surveillance of the area they were responsible for. After Su Yun gave the order, everyone entered the Song conglomerate's office building in twos and threes. There were countless people going in and out of this kind of office building every day. They were all in plain clothes. No one would notice their identity. Su Yun also found the floor where Song Xiongxiong's office was located according to the surveillance video. Chen Feng and Hua Xiaolu were responsible for searching on that floor. Because there was no surveillance equipment in Song Xiongxiong's office, Su Yun couldn't be sure if there was anyone inside. But no matter what, Su Yun had to go in and check it out. Not only for personal revenge, but also for another reason. After all, this clay was found by Song Dong to deal with him. Even if Su Yun didn't have any selfish motives, he had to seriously investigate whether Song Xiongxiong had anything to do with clay if he dealt with it impartially. He was very clear about this. Obviously, it was impossible for Song Dong to get in touch with clay. He could only be in the hospital at this time. Soon, Su Yun came to the floor where Song Xiongxiong's office was. While Chen Feng and Hua Xiaolu were searching, Su Yun went straight to Song Xiongxiong's office. Just at the door of Song Xiongxiong's office, Su Yun was stopped by Song Xiongxiong's secretary. "Who are you?" "I'm looking for Manager Song." Su Yun smiled slightly. "Do you have an appointment?" The secretary was stunned. She remembered that Manager Song said that all the client meetings these 2 days were postponed and left to other vice managers. Su Yun shook his head. "No, but I'm sure Manager Song wants to see me." The secretary frowned and then picked up the phone. "Then I'll inform him." "May I have your name?" "No need." Su Yun reached out to help the secretary hang up the phone. "I want to give Manager Song a surprise. He will like it." "No. That's the rule." The secretary refused firmly. Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. "Then I'll tell you this. Manager Song's son is in trouble. He needs someone to help him solve this problem. And I'm the one who can help him solve this problem. If you don't let me see him, I'll leave now. When Manager Song asks me why I didn't come to see him, I'll say that your secretary doesn't let me in." The secretary was stunned. This guy, was he threatening her? But what he said was the truth. It seemed that he was not an outsider. "Then I'll at least ask." The secretary said, "This is my job. Please don't make it difficult for me. I can't let you in without the boss's permission." Su Yun did not say anything and turned to leave. Seeing this, the secretary panicked. If this was really a benefactor invited by Manager Song, then she really couldn't let him go. If this person left and Manager Song blamed her, how could she explain it? At that time, she might really be fired. "Wait a minute." The secretary hurriedly stopped him. "Then you go in. Manager Song is inside." Su Yun smiled slightly. "He's alone?" "Yes. Alone." The secretary said. "Then he must be waiting for me." Su Yun grinned. "Thank you. Manager Song will remember this surprise you gave him." Chapter 1893. Song Xiongxiong sat on the sofa in the office with his eyes closed. He was really tired, very tired. However, he couldn't fall asleep because there were too many things on his mind. He couldn't let himself rest peacefully. At this time, Su Yun pushed the door open and seemed to disturb him. However, Su Yun had no choice. After all, he was already here and it was on the way. If he didn't visit Director Song, it wouldn't be right. After Su Yun came in, Song Xiongxiong still had his eyes closed. However, the expression on his face became slightly impatient. Seeing the brewed tea on the coffee table, Su Yun didn't stand on ceremony. He sat on the sofa next to Song Xiongxiong and poured himself a cup of tea. He took a sip. Not bad. Rich people really know how to enjoy life. This pu'er tea is definitely the best. It's very sweet and fragrant. Give me another cup. Hearing the voice, Song Xiongxiong still had his eyes closed. He said impatiently, "If I want a drink, I will pour it myself. You can go out." What does this mean? Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This Director Song probably thought that he was his secretary who came in to pour tea for him. Su Yun drank the tea in the cup in one gulp and put the cup on the table. He looked at Song Xiongxiong with a smile but didn't say anything. Song Xiongxiong didn't hear the sound of the secretary leaving. He frowned even more. His tone changed from impatience to anger. "I'll tell you one last time. At this time, I don't want to do anything. Don't disturb me. I want to be alone." "Who is Jingjing?" Su Yun couldn't help but ask with a smile. Suddenly, a strange man's voice appeared. Song Xiongxiong's whole body was numb. The chill of fear spread from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head in an instant. He opened his eyes abruptly and looked at the young man who suddenly appeared in front of him. He roared, "Who are you?" Su Yun poured himself another cup of tea. Such expensive tea leaves would not taste good if they cooled down. What a waste of God's gift. Looking at Su Yun's leisurely manner, Song Xiongxiong's anger immediately spread to every cell in his body. He stood up angrily and glared at him. "Manager Song, why are you so angry? I'm the person you're looking for." Su Yun smiled. "Why? Now that I'm here, you don't welcome me?" Song Xiongxiong was bewildered by this. He had turned down all his social engagements for the past few days, so it was impossible for him to meet anyone. Although his anger had subsided, Song Xiongxiong was still annoyed. What was the use of raising this secretary? He couldn't even stop a single person, and he didn't even inform him when he came in. "Manager Song, you are a big boss. You don't have to be so nervous when you see a small fry like me." Su Yun smiled. "What if you meet a big leader? How can you be friends with him?" Song Xiongxiong gradually came back to his senses. He calmed down and looked at Su Yun carefully. He said lightly, "Manager Su, you are no small fry. The CEO of Sky Entertainment Group is not someone I, Song Xiongxiong, can compare to. Yo, Manager Song is indeed Manager Song. You have a wide network and know everything." Su Yun narrowed his eyes. This Song guy was really something. He was able to find out everything. He even checked his household register. "Not bad, you've even figured out Su Yun's path so clearly." Song Xiongxiong, of course, could hear Su Yun's displeasure. He, Manager Su, you are too serious. It's just that you are too famous. We can't not know you even if we wanted to." Su Yun nodded. He still had a smile on his face. "Is that so? It's my honor to be recognized by Manager Song. But why do you want to check my car?" Song Xiongxiong never thought that Su Yun would take the initiative to bring this up. One had to know that he should be the one questioning this matter. The one who was injured was his son, and this was his territory. What right did he have to let Su Yun be so overbearing? "What do you mean?" Song Xiongxiong said rudely. Su Yun smiled. "Nothing. It's just that when you wanted to check the military car from yesterday morning, we found out immediately. I'm sure Manager Song can understand what I mean." Song Xiongxiong understood too well. Su Yun's meaning was obvious. He was telling him that this car was not something he could check. "It seems that Manager Su wants to bully me." Su Yun shook his head. "Not really. But if Manager Song doesn't know what's good for him, then don't blame me for not reminding you. Song Xiongxiong's face darkened. He sneered. What does Manager Su mean? Do you want to do something out of line in a legal society? Ha ha ha, then I won't agree. We are all people who know the law. It's good that you know the law. Then everything can be solved. Su Yun nodded. I think if you give me enough time to check what illegal things you have done over the years, I think I should be able to find out a lot. And each of them is enough to put you in prison for the rest of your life, right? Song Xiongxiong glared at him and scolded loudly. Don't talk nonsense if you don't have evidence. Be careful or I will sue you for slander. Sue me? Save it. Su Yun said, why don't you take a look at your own guilty conscience? Manager Song, don't deceive yourself. Touch your heart and ask yourself, are you really not afraid of being investigated by me? Song Xiongxiong stared at Su Yun fiercely. He didn't know what Su Yun was thinking. Manager Song, there are some things that I will say directly. You don't want to hear it. Su Yun. You spent so much effort to investigate me. What did you find out? What else did you find out except for my identity in Tianyu Group? Don't tell me that you can't find out. Even if you found out this, what can you do to me? Song Xiongxiong was beaten black and blue by Su Yun's words. He asked himself several times, what can I do? But if I want to investigate you, I only need to say one word. Su Yun. Whether you believe it or not, if you want to try, I really don't mind. I will let you die convinced and teach you how to be a man in your next life. Without waiting for Song Xiongxiong to speak, Su Yun quickly added, your son is already lucky. If I had been there that day, he wouldn't have just become a cripple. Song Xiongxiong felt a cold murderous intent in Su Yun's words. He couldn't help but slap Han Zhong. Who the hell was this guy? How could he make him speechless? There is one more thing, Manager Song. The person that your son hired is a killer. If you say that you haven't figured it out, I can only despise you for being incompetent. Su Yun. I can also be sure that you have nothing to do with the killer in your current state. Of course I have nothing to do with it. Song Xiongxiong was a little hysterical. But don't forget that although the killer has nothing to do with you, he has something to do with your son. Su Yun. I can tell you clearly that I will catch that person. I hope that after I catch that person, he will not tell anyone about his relationship with your Song family. Song Xiongxiong's face turned green. Once he gives up on anyone from the Song family, you can just wait to be thoroughly investigated. Su Yun's lips curled into a smile. Do you think you've gotten yourself into trouble? Are you in big trouble? Song Xiongxiong didn't even have the strength to swallow his saliva now. He really regretted that he was idle enough to investigate Su Yun. Now even a fool could see that Su Yun was going to avenge his private grudge. Su Yun, tell me, who are you? Song Xiongxiong didn't know why he could still be so calm now. Su Yun shrugged. Manager Song, I'm afraid you haven't reached that level yet. And remember your identity. You are just a businessman. You have no right to know about me. You don't have the ability to find someone who will reveal my identity to you. Boom. For Song Xiongxiong, this sentence was like the sky falling down. Yes, he had clearly realized that he was not Qin Haodong's opponent at all. Qin Haodong didn't take him seriously at all. He spent so much effort to find so many connections, but he didn't get any useful information. What about Su Yun? He didn't care at all when he appeared in his office and said something to him that made him unable to breathe at all. Song Xiongxiong never expected this kind of overwhelming strength. He couldn't believe that a young man could make him so obedient. There's an old saying that goes, there's always someone better than you. Chapter 1894. Manager Song, you must remember my advice. God is watching what people do. The cycle of cause and effect is inevitable. Su Yun poured himself another cup of tea. For example, if you don't work hard and play all kinds of tricks, you can't afford to drink such good tea. Similarly, if your son hadn't done so many evil things, he wouldn't have been crippled by a kick. Song Xiongxiong clenched his fists. As his father, he might have no chance to avenge his son. I have another word to remind you. Don't think about hurting the person who crippled your son. When Su Yun said these words, the strong pressure he exuded was not something ordinary people like Song Xiongxiong could bear. Song Xiongxiong was almost out of breath by Su Yun's strong pressure. She's my woman. If you dare to mess with her, I promise that even if you run to the end of the world, I will catch you and kill you. There were no angry words, just a calm retelling. It was so simple. However, Song Xiongxiong was so shocked by Su Yun's deterrence that he didn't even have the courage to stand up. He only felt that his knees were soft, and he sat heavily on the sofa. Do you need me to repeat it again? Su Yun smiled. He knew that the education he gave Song Xiongxiong was enough. No wonder Song Yao was such a person. His father was a scumbag. To educate such a person, he had to start with his father. If the upper beam was not straight, the lower beam would be crooked. It was meaningless to only fix the lower beam. If he wanted to completely solve the problem of the lower beam, he had to deal with the upper beam. After Song Xiongxiong came to his senses, he finally said, "Manager Su, I admit it. I know I offended someone I can't afford to offend. From today on, I will never provoke you again. I also hope that you can take a step back and be magnanimous. It's not up to me whether I should take a step back or not." Su Yun said, "That will depend on whether or not the escaped assassin will reveal his relationship with your Song family. If he doesn't talk about your family's matters, then I definitely won't touch you. But if he doesn't keep his mouth shut, then don't blame me for not paying attention. That person really has nothing to do with me. They children don't know about such serious consequences. If they knew, they definitely wouldn't have provoked that kind of person." Song Xiongxiong said, "Can you give me a chance? Let's talk about this later. I'm not a policeman or a judge." Su Yun smiled. "Do you really want to know who I am? Manager Song?" "Nonsense, of course I want to know." Song Xiongxiong thought. If he could know what other hidden identities Su Yun had, then he could dig deeper through his connections. He would definitely be able to find someone who could talk to him. That way, he would be able to give him some face. But if they didn't even know Su Yun's identity, then what was the point of digging deeper? "Yes." Song Xiongxiong replied weakly. Su Yun nodded. This guy was really honest. Very good. That's the answer I wanted. Think about it slowly. Don't worry. Maybe one day you'll have a flash of inspiration and suddenly know my identity. Su Yun didn't mean to tell him at all. Song Xiongxiong almost couldn't catch his breath and fainted directly. Even if Su Yun played him like this, he didn't dare to say anything. He didn't even dare to be angry. He didn't even dare to be angry. He was still brooding over the aura that had almost killed him just now. "Manager Song, you should get busy first. Get busy with business. Don't let me hear that you're investigating me again. Su Yun, if we have a next meeting, I'm afraid it won't be so pleasant." Song Xiongxiong could only nod. Su Yun clenched his fist and held it flat. Suddenly, he loosened it a little. A handful of powdery sand flowed out of his hand. "I'm sorry, Manager Song. Your purple sand cup was accidentally turned into purple sand by me. You should ask your secretary to clean it up. Be careful not to be blinded by this thing. It'll be very uncomfortable." When he said this, Su Yun deliberately blew a breath. Song Xiongxiong quickly closed his eyes for fear of being blinded by this thing. Su Yun clapped his hands. "Okay, I should go. I won't disturb you." Song Xiongxiong hoped that Su Yun would hurry out. If Su Yun didn't step out of his office, his heart wouldn't be at peace for a minute. Su Yun turned on the radio of the handheld terminal and said to all the brothers in the Dragon's Fury Team channel, "Has the search been completed? If there are no abnormalities, prepare to evacuate. Don't disturb the normal operation of the Song Group." Soon, Su Yun received the news that everyone was evacuating. "It seems that you really didn't harbor the killer." Su Yun smiled slightly. "However, you haven't gotten rid of the suspicion yet. Manager Song, enjoy these days. Maybe you won't have it so easy in the future. Song Xiong swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Su Yun's identity was probably similar to the super agents in American blockbusters. Sigh, how could he be so stupid to provoke such a person? When Su Yun left, he deliberately showed the weapon at his waist to Song Xiong. Song Xiong understood at that time. With this identity, he had the right to end his life on the spot on behalf of the country and the law. Regardless of whether Su Yun would have to submit a report or be investigated if he really did that, there was one thing that was certain, and that was that he had the right to get rid of you. He had the right to act first and report later. This kind of opponent was really an opponent that Song Xiong didn't want to provoke even if he was beaten to death. Song Xiong didn't have the capital to challenge him at all. When Su Yun pushed open the door of Song Xiong's office, Song Xiong also saw the two handsome and mighty young men at the door. His secretary was already sitting on the chair dumbfounded and looking like a love-struck fool. Until Su Yun's figure completely disappeared from Song Xiong's sight, Song Xiong breathed a sigh of relief. He also had to think of a way to save himself. He had to find the guy named Clay before Su Yun did. Yes, he had to kill this person first. The dead wouldn't talk nonsense. Song Xiong didn't believe that Su Yun wouldn't use his position to avenge a personal grudge. If he forced Clay to confess and made him confess his relationship with their Song family, then wouldn't their Song family be completely finished? This was definitely not the result that Song Xiong wanted. Song Xiong had to strangle all the signs that might affect his family's interests in the cradle. Although Su Yun and the other guys who were similar to agents were very powerful, Song Xiong still believed that he could find Clay one step earlier because Song Bei was his nephew, and Clay was Song Bei's friend. He was also involved by Song Bei. Song Xiong quickly dialed Song Bei's phone and asked him to come to his office as quickly as possible. He needed to explain this matter to him face to face and understand the stakes. If he didn't want the entire Song family to be locked up, he had to get in touch with Clay now and get in touch with him. Whether the opponent was an assassin or not, Song Xiong had to find a way to kill this person. If he didn't kill this person, there would be too many hidden dangers. Song Bei naturally obeyed Song Xiong's words. After he rushed to Song Xiong's office and listened to Song Xiong tell him the whole thing in detail, he understood the importance of this matter. It was related to the fate of the entire Song group. Of course, it was also related to his fate. Song Bei, the fate of our Song family is in your hands. What are you going to do? You must think about it clearly. Song Xiong said, Uncle has never asked you for anything, but for this matter, no one can do it except you. You must help our Song family. This is also helping yourself. Song Bei's head nodded vigorously. Of course, he knew that this was for himself. If the Song group collapsed, even if he didn't have to go to jail, what he would eat, what he would drink, and how he would survive in the future would be a problem. Uncle, you can rest assured. I will definitely find Clay. Song Bei said, I will find Clay before anyone else. You have to believe me. I will call him right now. With Song Bei's words, Song Xiong's heart that was hanging in the air was finally settled. As long as Clay was killed, all the problems would not be a problem. Don't let Clay have any doubts. You just say that you want to help him. Do you understand? You must give him a reassurance. You must let him accept you with peace of mind. Do you understand? Understood. I will say that I can help him get out of the current danger. I can help him leave Huaxia. Song Bei said, such a temptation is enough for him to believe me, right? Enough. Song Xiong said, as long as you do this well, Uncle will give you a private jet. Haven't you always wanted one? I will buy it for you. Your brother Dong doesn't have it. You will have it in the future. After hearing this, Song Bei's eyes flashed with a greedy light. Chapter 1895. After Song Bei accepted this task, he began to call Clay frantically. At this time, Clay's phone couldn't be reached at all. After he contacted the organization, he turned off his mobile phone signal. He was worried that he would be tracked every time his signal was connected. Almost 40 hours had passed. Clay felt that the people from the organization should have probably arrived in Huaxia, so he turned on his mobile phone. After turning on his mobile phone, Clay received messages. They were all missed calls from Song Bei. Faced with these calls, Clay considered many reasons. He came to help Song Bei, but he escaped. It was normal for Song Bei to look for him. However, there was another possibility. The relevant department of Huaxia who wanted to catch him had found Song Bei and was forcing Song Bei to contact him. This was obviously very likely. Therefore, Clay's heart must be very tangled because at this time, he especially wanted to get the help of others. Although as an assassin, he didn't feel any discomfort in the face of loneliness. However, in such a big country like Huaxia, this forbidden zone was strictly and clearly stated by the organization. He really felt very uncomfortable. Now, as long as he could find someone who could help him, it would fill Clay's heart with hope. This hope was the motivation for him to persist. As a citizen of Huaxia, Song Bei knew everything about Huaxia. Moreover, the relationship between rich people would not be too bad. Song Bei was a very good helper for Clay, so Clay really hoped to get help from this helper at this time. Clay was very tangled, and the more he thought about it, the more tangled he was. However, in the next 2 hours, Clay still didn't get a call from the organization. This made Clay unable to wait any longer. He felt that it was necessary to find another way for himself. It was already dark, and Song Bei had not been able to contact Clay. This was really a kind of torture for him. Every hour, Song Xiongxiong would call to ask about his situation. The first few times, Song Bei could say that he had not found Clay, but several times, he said that he had not been able to contact Clay. Song Xiongxiong was about to fall out with him. Song Bei was so worried that his intestines were about to turn green. How could he solve this problem? If he couldn't get in touch with Clay, how could he find him? He wasn't a spy. His uncle thought too highly of him. Song Bei came to the bar to drink before he even had dinner. There was no one in the bar at this time. Song Bei was the only one drinking alone. He was annoyed that he missed a private jet. If he had this private jet, he would have been able to boast too much. Just as Song Bei was feeling extremely depressed, Clay actually replied to Song Bei's call. After seeing the incoming call, Clay was so excited that he almost jumped up. He quickly picked up the phone. "Clay, where are you?" Because there was music in the place where Song Bei was, Clay relaxed a little. If Song Bei was being controlled by the police, then he must be in a very quiet and sealed room to communicate with him. And there was noise in the room, which meant that there was not much danger. "Song Bei, where are you?" Clay still maintained his vigilance. Even if there was no danger, he would not easily trust anyone. "I'm at the bar," Song Bei said. Clay was startled and somewhat suspicious. "You're going to drink so early?" "I'm worried because I can't find you," Song Bei said. "Do you know how long I've been looking for you? I couldn't get through to your phone. I was so worried. If you had picked up the phone earlier, I wouldn't have had to drink to drown my sorrows." Clay suddenly became cautious. "Why are you looking for me?" Song Bei realized that he had said something wrong and quickly explained, "Why do you think I'm looking for you?" "Of course, I'm worried about you. You haven't moved since you left that day. Of course, I'm worried about you." "Then why didn't you look for me at that time?" Clay asked. The words that Song Xiongxiong had told him appeared in Song Bei's mind. No matter what, he had to think of a way to make Clay believe in him. He had to make Clay feel a sense of crisis. He had to make Clay feel that only he could save him. Only then would Clay be able to tell them his exact location. Only in this way could Song Xiongxiong have the opportunity to kill Clay and not give him a chance to talk nonsense. In this way, the crisis of the Song group could be completely resolved. "I didn't look for you at that time because I wasn't worried about you. But now that I know you're in trouble, how can I not look for you?" Song Bei said, "I, Song Bei, am a person who values friendship and righteousness. I can't be indifferent when I know my friend is in trouble. Am I still human?" Clay frowned and said nervously, What can happen to me? What can happen to you? You don't know? Song Bei said, You're really good. You don't know. Hurry up and find a place to hide. I heard that the relevant departments want to arrest you. What is your identity? How can you have such a big influence? I was scared to death when I heard about it. Clay felt a burst of nervousness in his heart. Did someone ask you to investigate? Investigate me? Not really. With our Song family's power in Yanjing, no one would dare to investigate me. Song Bei's words were big enough. He didn't know that the Song family was really being targeted. Clay relaxed a little. Then how did you know something happened to me? How can I not know? Yanjing City is a small place. How can I not have eyes and ears? Then how can I survive in Yanjing City? Song Bei said, I'm looking for you with good intentions. Clay, you're in big trouble. Don't get caught, or you'll be in big trouble. What did you hear? Clay asked nervously. This was related to whether he could safely escape from Huaxia. How could Song Bei have heard anything? All he had heard was some superficial things that Song Xiongxiong had told him. As for the real problem that Clay was facing, he had no idea at all. I've heard too much. I can't explain it clearly in a short time. You just need to know that your current situation is very bad. Clay took a deep breath. He was very clear that his situation was indeed very bad. Clay, you are my friend. If you need my help, I will spare no effort. Song Bei seized the opportunity and said, If you can find a way to leave Huaxia by yourself, then do it as soon as possible. If you can't leave, I can help you. How can you help me? Clay asked. He couldn't pin all his hopes on the organization. If he could save himself, he had to find a way to save himself. Song Bei really hadn't thought about this problem, but he suddenly thought that if he could help Song Xiongxiong find Clay, Song Xiongxiong would give him a private jet. I have a private jet. I can send you out. Song Bei said, No matter what, the most important thing is that you leave Yanjing first. I heard that all aspects of Yanjing's traffic are comprehensively checked. If you want to go out by yourself, I'm afraid it will be really difficult. Song Bei didn't need to say this. Clay was very clear about this. He couldn't leave by himself. Even if you have a private jet, it will still be checked. Clay said. Song Bei snorted disdainfully. Clay, do you not believe in the strength of our Song family in Yanjing? No one dares to check my private jet. Do you believe it? These words seemed to make sense. Clay struggled in his heart again. This was a gamble for him. If he won the gamble, he would be able to leave in one piece, and the people in the organization would think highly of him. He had escaped from the forbidden zone set by the organization, so his position in the organization would definitely be highly recognized in the future. But if he failed, he knew the consequences. However, Clay thought carefully. If he didn't ask for Song Bei's help, his consequences would definitely be the latter. He would have no chance. Of course, I don't want to get involved in this muddy water. It's best if you can solve it yourself. Song Bei loosened the reins only to grasp them better. If you really need my help, call me at any time. You helped me, of course, I will help you. With Song Bei's words, Clay's heart was more at ease. Song Bei, can you really help me send me out of Yanjing? Nonsense. Otherwise, why would I call you? Song Bei said. Clay gritted his teeth. Then how can I get in touch with you? I really need your help to send me out of Yanjing. You really need it. Song Bei's heart was happy, but he still pretended to be surprised. What? You're just saying? Clay's heart went cold. No, I mean it. Then I'll tell you the location? Song Bei said as he pondered. Then he denied it. No, you're in a dangerous situation now. It's best not to run around alone. You find a safe place, and I'll pick you up. I'll get someone to arrange the plane now. Clay thought for a moment and finally decided to believe Song Bei. Okay, I'll send you the address immediately. The sooner you arrange the plane, the better. Chapter 1896. Arrange a plane? Song Bei hung up the phone and shook his head with some disdain. He really didn't understand how Clay trusted him so much. It seemed that he was really desperate. No wonder his uncle said that he was in a very dangerous situation now. There was a very special department that wanted to catch him. Before contacting Clay, Song Bei thought that Song Xiongxiong's words were somewhat exaggerated. But now it seemed that Song Xiongxiong really didn't exaggerate anything. If Clay couldn't escape from Hua Xia, there was only a dead end. Otherwise, he wouldn't believe him so easily. Unfortunately, there was no plane. Song Bei could only let his friend down. Because he betrayed his friend, he could really get a plane. A private jet. This was something he had always dreamed of. Even though Song Dong had asked for a private jet many times, Song Xiongxiong, who was his father, had never agreed to his condition. Song Bei comforted himself. It was not his fault that he was not loyal enough. It was just that the bargaining chip of this temptation was too big. In any case, he and Clay just met once. When he was in Europe, he saved him just on the way. Even if he was not kidnapped by those black men, Clay was going to kill them. That was a gang struggle between them. It had nothing to do with Song Bei. Besides, he didn't mistreat Clay. He had given him so much money. This money was enough. Even if he didn't go at the time, Song Bei gave the robbers the money, and those people were willing to let him go. The mobile phone text message came, and Song Bei quickly opened it. It was a picture sent by Clay, a screenshot of Google Maps. It showed that Clay had a car parts factory in the western suburbs of Yanjing. This car parts factory was closed in the last 6 months. It used to be a very good factory, and the annual tax was quite high. Later, it was said that the boss was involved in financing and financial management. In the end, he played miserably and threw all his wealth into it. Because he couldn't afford the money, the boss ran away, and the car parts factory was auctioned off by the government. No one knew what happened to the person who bought the factory. After the purchase, there was no news. The hundreds of workers had nothing to do, and no one paid them. In just half a year, this car parts factory, which was originally quite large, had become a deserted factory. But even if it was abandoned, the factory was still the private property of the buyer. It was said that the buyer did not want to make car parts and felt that there was no future. He wanted to transform the factory into a high-tech factory and was discussing some projects in the United States. In any case, there was nothing left in the factory. Everything that could be moved away by the workers had already been moved away. The production tools that could be sold were sold, and the ones that could not be sold were smashed and sold as scrap metal. The entire project was completely ruined. Inside, there was only dust. Later on, there was a rumor that the original boss of the factory had committed suicide. His spirit refused to leave after returning to the factory, so the new boss of the factory did not dare to return. As a result, no one dared to go to this place on a normal day. No one was willing to provoke such bad luck. Song Bei quickly dialed Song Xiongxiong's phone. "Uncle, I've already contacted Clay, and I know where he is." Song Xiongxiong's eyes lit up. "Where is he? Tell me quickly." "Uncle, we have an agreement about the private jet. You can't go back on your words." Song Bei smiled and confirmed again. "I've always remembered. When are we going to see the jet?" "What I said must be counted." Song Xiongxiong said, "But now is not the time to talk about this. If someone else catches Clay one step ahead of you, then don't even think about getting your plane. You won't even have a penny in the future. I'll send you the location map now." Song Bei panicked when he heard this. After Song Xiongxiong got the map, he immediately called Crippled Tiger, a famous villain in Yanjing City. Although Crippled Tiger was crippled, he was ruthless enough and had a ruthless heart. There were a lot of messy things between him and Song Xiongxiong that could not be explained clearly. "Ahoo, do me a favor." Song Xiongxiong smiled and said, "After it's done, you will benefit a lot. Remember to bring a few more brothers." "President Song, it seems that this is not a small matter. How many people do you need?" When Crippled Tiger received Song Xiongxiong's call, he knew that Song Xiangxiong had something to do with him. Remove his arm or his leg. Song Xiangxiong gritted his teeth and said, "The other party is not easy to deal with. He may be an assassin. Bring as many brothers as you have. I don't want his arm or leg. I want his life. Ahoo, don't worry. After it's done, I won't mistreat any of your brothers. Especially you, I won't mistreat you." Crippled Tiger smiled and said, "President Song, you're really powerful. You even provoked an assassin. Well, then I'll bring all my brothers who can fight and bring guns. I don't believe that we can't kill him. But after it's done, I'll have to ask for a price depending on the situation. When have I ever mistreated you? Don't you believe me?" Song Xiangxiong said, "Gather your men in 10 minutes. I'll wait for you at the entrance of the expressway to the western suburbs. Be quick." "Don't worry, I'll be there in 10 minutes." Crippled Tiger promised. This was a big sum of money. He must earn it. Just as Song Bei and Song Xiangxiong were talking, Su Yun had heard all the content. They had already made preparations. After all, Clay and Song Bei knew each other and were in contact. Therefore, they had monitored Song Bei's phone at the first moment. When Song Bei called Clay, because he hung up too quickly, he almost tracked down Clay's location. Obviously, Clay also knew how to control the time. He didn't tell Song Bei the address on the phone, but sent a picture to Song Bei. Song Bei also sent a picture to Song Xiangxiong. He didn't tell Song Xiangxiong the address on the phone. Therefore, Gong Sun Long was now fully hacking into Song Bei's mobile phone. He had to decode all the pictures in his mobile phone. This was the only way to find Clay's location. "Attention, everyone. Stay where you are. We have intercepted reliable information. Clay is hiding somewhere in Yanjing. Everyone, wait for the order to set off and surround the place immediately." Su Yun also issued an order. He had to capture Clay alive and find out all of his plots and machinations. Song Bei's mobile phone was really difficult to crack. Gong Sun Long used various mobile phone software to hack into it, but he found that there was basically no software that Song Bei authorized to see his mobile phone's photo album. When Gong Sun Long finally found the location of the mobile phone's photo album, he also found that there was a password. After cracking the password, Gong Sun Lang was even more troubled. There were thousands of pictures in it. Almost all of them were pictures of various women and things on the bed that couldn't see the light of day. It took Gong Sun Lang a lot of effort to find the location map among the messy photos. "Boss. Found it." Gong Sun Lang quickly sent the picture to everyone's handheld terminal. "Attention, everyone. The target location has been sent to your handheld terminal. Now, we have to rush to the auto parts factory in the western suburbs as fast as possible. Everyone, be fully armed. The opponent is an assassin. You have to be careful." Su Yun gave the last order. Then, he kept urging Chen Feng to drive the car so fast that it was almost flying. They had to get there as soon as possible. Otherwise, if Clay ran away, no one could bear the responsibility. Along the way, Chen Feng almost didn't lift the accelerator, let alone step on the brake. Fortunately, the evening rush hour had passed. This was the time when most people were drinking and eating, so Chen Feng had the opportunity to drive so fast. Like Su Yun and the other members of the Special Forces also rushed to the western suburbs as fast as they could. However, their original search direction was not as close as Su Yun's search direction to the west. It was estimated that they wouldn't be able to catch up with them no matter how fast they drove. Especially the Dragon Prestige Force, who was searching in the east, had to cross the city, so they couldn't speed up at all. In addition to the members of the Special Forces who were racing against time, Song Xiangxiong was also racing against time. Crippled Tiger brought people over very quickly. Song Xiangxiong drove in front and led the way. More than a dozen cars followed behind, majestically going to find trouble with Clay. As for Song Bei, after he was responsible for sending the information, he was in such a good mood that he wanted to book the whole bar. The bill of all the girls who came today was directly put on his head. Song Bei opened a bottle of the most expensive champagne and enjoyed himself. In the future, he would be the first among the brothers of the Song family to have a private jet. Ha ha ha, when the time comes, let's see if those people who are only willing to play with Song Dong will come and lick his toes. Chapter 1897. Generally speaking, the road conditions from Yanjing City to the western suburbs were not very good. After getting off the highway, the road was full of potholes and patches. This was largely due to the overloading of large transport vehicles and the shoddy construction of the road. There was a saying that went, "Golden bridges, silver roads, bronze ancient constructions." This was a commonly recognized metaphor for the hierarchy of benefits in the construction industry. Why were the benefits of road construction so high, even higher than ancient constructions? Obviously, there were various unspoken rules involved. If a large transport vehicle that had been on the road for 20 years did not even have a single hole, would it still need to be repaired? Of course, it did not need to be repaired or rebuilt. If it was not rebuilt, who would be the ones losing? It would not be the interests of the people who would be lost. The people would be overjoyed. They would not have to take detours to go home. Moreover, the money for road construction could be used by the government for education and other public infrastructure projects. It was a good thing. However, there was no profit to be made from education. Therefore, a certain type of people liked to build roads and bridges. If there was no opportunity, they would create an opportunity to build a bridge. They would dig a hole in a good piece of land and call it an artificial lake. Then, they would build a bridge across the lake. This kind of thing was very common in Huaxia. It was a project that many leaders liked. Yes, this kind of project had many benefits. The reason was that it could be used as a flood relief area in case of a flood, and it could be used as a reservoir in case of a drought. Anyway, there were all kinds of reasons. The funny thing was that these places, which were well prepared for rainy days, never had any droughts or floods. On the contrary, those places that really had droughts and floods could not find a solution for a long time. Wasn't this obviously a joke? The road in the western suburbs was very bumpy. Because Song Xiongxiong was in a hurry, he drove very fast. The bumpy road made him want to pee. However, time waited for no one. Song Xiongxiong knew the meaning of time. Fortunately, the yellow sky did not disappoint those who waited. After more than an hour of rushing, Song Xiongxiong finally arrived at the car parts factory with Crippled Tiger and the others. The interior of the factory looked very desolate. The original gardens were all overgrown with weeds, and the dust on the cement floor would emit dust when stepped on. Because of the sky, some of the originally faint footprints on the ground were difficult to notice. "Clay!" Song Xiongxiong called out cautiously, but there was no response from the spacious factory. Crippled Tiger had more than 20 brothers who were good at fighting. They were armed with imitation Type 54 pistols and all kinds of controlled knives. They were paid to eliminate disasters. As long as they saw their targets, they had to kill them. Lame Tiger was determined to earn this huge sum of money. "I'm here to save you." Song Xiongxiong raised his voice slightly. "Clay, I was arranged by your friend Song Bei to come and pick you up. Where are you? Let's get out of here, it's not safe anymore. We'll send you out of Beijing. Don't waste any more time." Song Xiongxiong was very anxious, but he still didn't get a reply from Clay. Song Xiongxiong gestured to Crippled Tiger to have his men spread out and search every corner of the factory, from the office building to the factory. "Everyone, get moving. Don't let Director Song get anxious." Crippled Tiger ordered, "Find him immediately. There will be a reward if you find him." A group of men who had followed Crippled Tiger and never suffered any losses began to move. They went to different places in twos and threes. Song Xiongxiong was still testing the other party with words. "Clay, don't test us anymore. If we wanted to harm you, we wouldn't have to do it ourselves. Think about it. There are so many people in Huaxia looking for you. If we wanted to harm you, we just need to tell them where you are. Since we're here, we want to save you. Brother, we don't have time to waste. Director Song has good intentions. Crippled Tiger also said, "Don't dawdle. If you don't leave now, it'll be too late. You don't want to die here, right? Our car is outside. Come out, we'll leave immediately." The two of them shouted back and forth for 10 minutes, but there was no response at all. Song Xiongxiong felt that something was wrong. Could it be that Clay had tricked Song Bei? Damn it! Song Xiongxiong quickly dialed Song Bei's number. Song Bei was drinking happily. When he saw the call, he thought that his uncle had solved Clay's problem. He hurriedly picked up the phone. "Uncle, how is it? Did you find him?" "Find my ass. That guy must be tricking you. There's no one at all." Song Xiongxiong scolded unhappily. Song Bei was stunned. "Impossible. Uncle, don't worry. Maybe he's not sure and doesn't dare to come out. I'll call him right away. I'll call him and ask him to meet you." Song Bei hurriedly hung up Song Xiongxiong's phone and began to contact Clay. This was related to his private jet. He would never be careless about this matter. It had to be solved. Just when Song Xiongxiong was about to give up, a phone call from a corner of the empty factory lifted everyone's spirits. Crippled Tiger was energized. He was the first to rush over. Song Xiongxiong followed closely behind. Although one of them was a little lame and the other was old, they were not slow when they ran. The phone call came from an office. When they broke in, the first thing they saw was Clay, who was dead in the room. He died very miserably. It was not a gunshot wound, nor a knife wound. He was beaten alive and suffocated with an arm around his neck. His whole body was bleeding from all 7 orifices. Seeing such a cruel scene, Song Xiongxiong was a little scared. Although he had never seen Clay, he knew that Clay was a European. Song Bei had also told him about his general appearance. So he was sure that this person was Clay. Crippled Tiger saw that this guy died so miserably and couldn't help but frown. "I say, President Song, this is the killer? Heh, it seems that he has other enemies besides you. The money that I just got my hands on is going to fly away." Song Xiongxiong was not in the mood to talk. "Who killed this Clay?" "President Song, our brothers have worked hard even if they didn't make any contributions. You should at least show some appreciation, right?" Crippled Tiger saw that Song Xiongxiong didn't say anything. His subordinates also rushed to their office from all directions. The target was dead. This was not a good thing for them. "People inside, listen up. You have been surrounded." This sudden shout almost scared Crippled Tiger out of his wits. Song Xiongxiong was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. What the hell was going on? They didn't know that just as they parked their car and walked into the factory, Su Yun had already brought people over. A few minutes later, the people from the various special forces arrived. They took advantage of the time when Song Xiongxiong was looking for people to surround the entire factory. Crippled Tiger grabbed Song Xiongxiong and directly took out the fake Type 54 pistol from his waist and pointed it at Song Xiongxiong's head. "President Song, King set me up. This has nothing to do with me." Song Xiongxiong was anxious and scared. He really didn't know what to do. "You asked me to gather my brothers here. We were surrounded as soon as we arrived, and someone died inside. How can I believe you?" Crippled Tiger couldn't wait to shoot Song Xiongxiong, but he was surrounded. Song Xiongxiong was more or less a hostage. Crippled Tiger was so nervous because he had a guilty conscience. He had done too many bad things. Any one of them was enough to sentence him to death. It was just that the police didn't have any evidence. Now, no matter how he looked at it, he felt that the police had set him up. "I have a hostage. Don't try to scare me." Crippled Tiger wasn't afraid. He dragged Song Xiongxiong out of the room. "You set me up. You can't accuse me of murder without evidence." When Crippled Tiger and a group of brothers walked out, they realized that the other party wasn't the police at all. The police wouldn't wear such clothes. These people were dressed as if they were in a war. What kind of people were they? When Su Yun saw Crippled Tiger holding Song Xiongxiong, he knew that they were a group of people. Crippled Tiger's words, You set me up. You can't accuse me of murder without evidence," made Su-yun very uneasy. "We don't want to save the hostage in your hands," Su-yun said coldly. "Put down your weapon and you'll have a chance to live. Otherwise, if you dare to move, I can give the order to kill you. I don't even need to attack to deal with you. My snipers only need 10 seconds to take care of all of you. Do you believe me or not?" Crippled Tiger had been scared since he was a child. A few words couldn't do anything to him. He directly shouted at Su-yun, "I don't believe you." Get rid of his gun. Su-yun wasn't afraid of people who dared to shout at him. If he didn't show him what strength was, he wouldn't be honest. Chapter 1898. Su-yun wasn't just talking to himself. He was giving Hua Xiaolu, who had already occupied the high ground, the order to shoot. What was Hua Xiaolu's specialty in the Divine Dragon Squad? It was his accurate shooting skills. In the Dragon Brigade, everyone was a sharpshooter. However, Hua Xiaolu was the only one who could remain as calm as Hua Xiaolu, fire wherever he pointed, and never make a mistake. He would analyze everything before pulling the trigger, even the effect of air humidity on the bullet's firing speed. Who would dare say that he wasn't the best sharpshooter in the team? He wasn't just the best sharpshooter in the Dragon Fury team, he was also the best sharpshooter in the entire Dragon Brigade. During target practice, everyone had 10 bullets. Perhaps everyone could hit the bullseye with all 10 bullets, but who could make a bullet pass through the same hole 30 times? The only person who could do that was probably Hua Xiaolu. Wan Guangxiao wanted to know where Hua Xiaolu's limit was back then. He was actually able to make 23 consecutive shots pass through the same hole in the bullseye. Even when he made the 24th shot, he only missed by a tiny bit. It was so small that it was almost impossible to see with the naked eye. Hua Xiaolu admitted that he had missed. After that, Wan Guangxiao observed him for a while before he realized that he had indeed missed, but the deviation was less than a millimeter. He wasn't the best in individual combat, nor was he the best in kickboxing. Perhaps he wasn't as good as many people in all aspects, but when it came to shooting, no one dared to challenge him. No one in the entire Dragon Brigade dared to challenge him. After Su-yun gave the order, Hua Xiaolu immediately aimed at the Type 54 pistol in Crippled Tiger's hand and pulled the trigger without any hesitation. The gunshot rang out. Crippled Tiger felt a sharp pain in his hand. The pistol had been knocked away by the sniper rifle. The explosion of the bullet and the pistol almost deafened Song Xiongxiong's ears. Without the threat of Crippled Tiger's gun, Song Xiongxiong finally dared to speak to him. "Are you crazy? Crippled Tiger. We didn't kill him, so why should we be afraid of them? What you're doing to me is equivalent to taking a hostage. Your crime is even worse." Crippled Tiger had been nervous at the time, so he hadn't thought too much about it. Now that he heard Song Xiongxiong's words, he realized that everything he had done was unnecessary. "Director Song, my mind was in a mess just now. Please don't mind it. What we need now is for everyone to be united, right?" Lame Tiger said, "We'll get through this together." "Then why aren't you letting go of me?" Song Xiongxiong said unhappily. Crippled Tiger panicked. He was a little dazed. It wasn't that he had never seen a police officer or a big scene. But he had never seen such a scene before. These people were not at the level of the police at all. This configuration. This equipment. This ability. The difference was like heaven and earth. After the pistol in his hand was shot out, Crippled Tiger's mind was completely blank. His subordinates were also trembling. "Everyone put down your guns." Su-yun said, "I'll only give you 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, I'll give the order to kill anyone who still has a threatening weapon. Now you have 3 seconds. As soon as they heard this, the people holding pistols simply treated the weapons in their hands as if they were the god of plague. They all threw them out in unison. In addition to the guns, the people with knives also threw them away. No one wanted to be treated as a live target. After all, these people were not professional criminals. They were just a group of bullies. Of course, they didn't know how to deal with such a situation. If they hadn't shown up just now, Su Yun and the others wouldn't have been able to control them so easily. Very good, you're all very cooperative. Su Yun smiled slightly. He had already seen the relationship between Song Xiongxiong and Crippled Tiger. Chief Song, you brought so many people with guns here. What kind of big business are you doing? This has nothing to do with us. The people we came here were already dead. Song Xiongxiong said, I just want to help catch them and make a contribution. Su Yun snorted. He wasn't in the mood to think about these things with Song Xiongxiong. All of you are suspected of murder. Line up now. You don't have time. If there's anything wrong with you, you better watch out for your head. With just a few words, the group of people was obedient. Han Zhan, arrange for people to take them all back and hand them over to the police for trial. Su Yun said, they have at least violated the gun control regulations. Yes. Han Zhan said. After Crippled Tiger's men were all subdued, Song Xiongxiong almost begged Su Yun. I really want to help you share the burden. You don't have to explain. Su Yun smiled slightly. Your nephew Song Bei's mobile phone has been monitored by us. You really don't need to explain your thoughts. I can hear them clearly. So, Chief Song, you just wait for your punishment and sentence with peace of mind. Song Xiongxiong gritted his teeth and glared at Su Yun. But I'm telling you, we didn't kill that person. No matter how you investigate, you can't pin the crime on us. Then let's see if I can find any evidence. Su Yun was still in a very bad mood because he knew very well who the dead person Song Xiongxiong was talking about was. After everyone was taken away, Su Yun led the Brothers of Dragon's Fury into the room where Clay's body was found. There was no doubt about it. If the dead person wasn't Clay, Song Xiongxiong wouldn't have been so agitated. Phew. This person couldn't have been killed by those good-for-nothings. Qian Feng said with certainty. After all, Clay had escaped from Su Yun's hands. What did this mean? This meant that Clay had the absolute ability to cripple all those hooligans by himself. Su Yun nodded. Yes, it couldn't have been done by those gangsters. Looking at the situation at the scene, Clay's death was not caused by gunshot wounds, but by suffocation. The traces of fighting on his body were very obvious, but there were few traces of fighting at the scene. Such a scene made Su Yun boldly speculate that it was not a balanced confrontation. Clay was controlled and could only be beaten. These subtle fighting scenes proved that Clay had almost no chance to fight back. Who was it that had taken care of Clay? This question was indeed worthy of deep consideration. Clay could find this place to hide, which showed that he was a cautious person. A cautious person would not be easily approached. Also, the two people who approached Clay were not simple people. They were very strong. It could even be said that any one of them could end Clay's life. If the two of them worked together, Clay would have almost no ability to resist. This was a premeditated murder. The purpose of the other party was very clear. They wanted to get close to Clay and then kill him. They were definitely acquaintances. Su Yun was very sure of this. Clay was a member of the Black Fox Group. His acquaintances must have some relationship with the Black Fox Group. This inference made Su Yun break out in a cold sweat. They were too careless. Since the other party was an organization, there was obviously one person in Huaxia. There might be others there too. Careless, really careless. But there was one thing that Su Yun couldn't understand. If they were companions, why would they kill each other? They should be trying to find a way to escape together. There were too many things that Su Yun couldn't understand. Su Yun couldn't determine the truth just based on inference. Someone wants to kill us on purpose, Qian Feng said. They're afraid that if we catch them alive, they'll say something they shouldn't say. If they want to kill us, it must be the Black Fox Group. Su Yun shrugged. They're already dead. And it was done by two difficult people. I'm afraid our work will be even harder. Continue to be on alert. I really don't know how many people they have and what their purpose is. Qian Feng frowned. Yes, this was not a small matter. Let the police investigate first. What they had to do was to ensure the safety of the central government. Everything else had to be carried out on this basis. Let's go. Let's call it a day. Su Yun, we met an absolutely smart opponent. They won't stay here for us to catch after doing something. Song Xiongxiong and the others can only blame themselves for being unlucky. You guys go back first. I'll explain the situation to the main team. Boss, you're not going back with us? If you leave at this time. Who said I'm leaving? I'll go back later. I'm going to the police station now. Song Xiongxiong is not a clean person. I can't let him be so comfortable. Su Yun, you guys go back first. I'm sure the main team will arrange a mission. Yes. Everyone called it a day. Chapter 1899. Everyone had their own division of labor. The reason why Su Yun chose to go to the police station to take a look at Song Xiongxiong's interrogation was definitely not because he was narrow-minded and wanted to use this opportunity to take revenge. It was because he was worried that Song Xiongxiong would use money and connections to cause trouble for the police during the interrogation. Everyone knew what a rich man could do. It would be easier for an old policeman with merits to interrogate him. At least he would not be scared by Song Xiongxiong. Even if he had connections and wanted to find a way to deal with him in the future, Song Xiongxiong could take care of it with his merits. But if it was a newbie who had just become a police officer, it might not be the case. Su Yun was very clear about the current police. Qin Wan was definitely in the minority. Everyone's professional ethics and training were too ordinary. Some people's purpose was to make a living, because they were also civil servants. For the position of civil servant, Su Yun certainly had reason to suspect that some newbies must have known Song Xiongxiong's identity and dared not interrogate him. This was a very normal thing. At this juncture, although the police did not know that the dangerous members of the Black Fox group were in Yanjing, the higher-ups who knew had already issued an order for the whole city to be on alert. No matter who had caused the whole city to be on alert, the police leaders would definitely let all the experienced old policemen be prepared to accept the task orders from the higher-ups at any time. This was the duty and obligation of a policeman. This was the most basic thing of being a policeman. Everyone still had this, especially those who had been in the police station for so long. In that case, simple tasks like interrogations would most likely fall on the shoulders of the newcomers. Sure enough, the situation was very similar to Su Yun's calculation. Song Xiongxiong and Crippled Tiger were interrogated by inexperienced newbies, and the experienced old policeman had already been on standby to carry out the work of the whole Yanjing city. Now, the police absolutely did not have enough manpower. When Su Yun arrived, except for the guard on duty who glanced at his ID, no one asked him what he was doing at the police station. After all, Su Yun had already taken off his equipment. No matter how one looked at it, he was just a passerby. Su Yun came to the interrogation room with ease. He could hear Song Xiongxiong comforting the gangsters involved in the incident in the interrogation room. Everyone, please don't worry. As long as we insist on what we didn't do, they can't do anything to us. We didn't do anything, so they won't have any evidence. Director Song, you have connections and power. You must help us. Brothers, don't worry. Today, all of you are going to help me. I am a very particular person. We definitely won't abandon you. Song Xiongxiong said. However, I don't care about your boss, Crippled Tiger. You have seen how he treated me. I won't be nice to a person who doesn't care about relationships. He definitely violated the gun control regulations. If you want to be fine, just insist that the guns are his. I promise you will be locked up for a year or two at most. With Song Xiongxiong's encouragement, many people felt relieved. However, there were some who were unwilling to accept it. A year was still a long time. Su Yun knocked on the door of the interrogation room. There were only 2 young policemen in the interrogation room. When they saw Su Yun, a stranger, they were a little confused. Su Yun quickly took out his mission ID. The stamp on it that was recognized by all the police systems told the two young men that the guy in front of them who wrote Special Confidential Department Member was definitely not simple. "Brother, please sit down. What's your name? Are you here to inspect our work? We will definitely work hard and seriously." One of them had already started to flatter Su Yun. The other did not find a chance to flatter him, but he also used practical actions to show his respect. He got up and gave his seat to Su Yun. Su Yun smiled. "My name is Su Yun. You don't have to be so polite. Just interrogate as you should. I'm just passing by." Of course, Crippled Tiger had already recognized Su Yun. He put away his cynical look and said to Su Yun, "Oh, brother Su Yun, you can't be a policeman, right? The police don't have your equipment, do they?" "How do you know what equipment I have?" Su Yun asked. Crippled Tiger chuckled. "You're really forgetful. We were all arrested by you. Otherwise, what do you think these little policemen can do? Do you think they can control us?" When they heard that these people were arrested by Su Yun, the two young policemen immediately worshipped him. They had to worship him. "Brother Su, you guys are amazing. You even arrested such ruthless people." One of the young policemen said, "You don't know, but this Crippled Tiger is notorious. He has done too many bad things. He even threatened us just now. He said that we didn't want to give him face. If we interrogate him, he will definitely kill us when he gets out." Su Yun smiled. "What's wrong? Are you too scared? Brother Su, don't listen to the nonsense of these two kids. I was just joking with them. Would I really threaten the police?" Crippled Tiger chuckled and tried to explain his behavior. "Shut the F***ck up. I'm interrogating them." Su Yun suddenly raised his voice and roared. This time, Crippled Tiger was really scared. The two new policemen didn't even dare to breathe. Su Yun looked at the interrogation equipment. These two new policemen were really inexperienced. In their panic, they didn't even turn on the equipment. What did it mean when the light on the recorder was not turned on? It meant that they didn't record it. That was why Crippled Tiger dared to speak so arrogantly. He wasn't afraid of leaving evidence behind. As for the surveillance camera in the corner of the interrogation room, those who were in the know knew that it was inconvenient to turn it on. "Crippled Tiger, does your mother know that you're so arrogant? Does your teacher know?" After Su Yun finished speaking, he walked in front of Crippled Tiger. Without saying anything, he kicked Crippled Tiger's chest. The kick caused Crippled Tiger to fall to the ground along with the interrogation chair. When the two young policemen saw that Su Yun was about to make a move, they quickly came forward to persuade him. "Brother Su, there's a recording. Please don't do anything. You two know that there's a recording. You didn't even turn on the recorder. How could you record it?" Su Yun said. Do you know why he dared to speak so arrogantly? He knew that the recorder wasn't turned on. He's not afraid of being recorded as evidence. After Su Yun said this, the two new policemen's faces turned green. They really didn't turn on the recorder. This was really embarrassing. What are you waiting for? Turn it on. Interrogate him again. Don't you know how to? Didn't you learn it in the police academy? Do you need me to repeat it? Do you need me to teach you how to interrogate criminals? Su Yun glared at them. The two shook their heads hard, indicating that there was no need. It seemed that Su Yun's rank was not low. They didn't dare to disobey him. With Su Yun in charge, the interrogation was much simpler. Crippled Tiger had been shocked by Su Yun's aura. As long as Su Yun was present, he didn't dare to not give a detailed account. The interrogation went very smoothly. After Crippled Tiger was taken away, Su Yun asked the two policemen, "How many people have you interrogated? If there's no recording, you'll have to interrogate them again. Just now, we interrogated President Song of the Song Group. He's the only one that needs to be interrogated again." From this guy's tone, it was obvious that he thought highly of Song Xiongxiong. President Song of the Song Group. Listen to this title. Su Yun didn't want to educate people, but this matter had to be taught well. I can tell you very responsibly that there's no President Song of the Song group here. There's only the suspect, Song Xiongxiong. Do you understand? Understood. The two policemen answered very seriously. Su Yun solemnly warned the two of them, those who drive good cars are not necessarily rich, and those who have a lot of money are not necessarily good people. As policemen, you should treat everyone equally. How can you feel as if you're inferior just because the other party is a president? Interrogate him again for me. Yes. After being brought back for interrogation again, Song Xiongxiong was confused. After seeing Su Yun, he finally understood. He really admired Su Yun. My God, President Su, how many departments are you involved in? Why are you everywhere? You don't have to worry about that. Song Xiongxiong, tell the truth. Crippled Tiger just told us very clearly that you tried to hire a killer. Su Yun smiled. This is already a crime. President Su, you can't say that. We didn't kill him. You can't frame a good person. I'm a law-abiding citizen of Huaxia. Of course, Song Xiongxiong wouldn't easily admit his crime. I'm not the one who violated the gun control regulations. I didn't bring a gun. It was Crippled Tiger and his people who brought it. They were the ones who were arrested. Su Yun smiled slightly. It seems that you, the mastermind, want to get rid of everything, right? Chapter 1900. Mr. Su, what do you mean? What do you mean by mastermind? I just called Crippled Tiger to discuss a project. I took a fancy to this abandoned factory, so I went to take a look. Song Xiongxiong said, as for what Crippled Tiger was thinking, I don't know since he brought so many people and so many guns. Su Yun couldn't help but admire Song Xiongxiong. I say, Song Xiongxiong, you're really something. You can even push it away so cleanly. Don't you remember that your nephew Song Bei's phone has been monitored? How long are you going to be so stubborn? The victim's last conversation was with your nephew Song Bei. What does this have to do with me? My nephew is already an adult. It's his freedom to talk to whoever he wants. It's none of my business. Song Xiongxiong was very smart. He knew that he couldn't let it go. He had to show his innocence in every word and action. You can't arrest me because of this. It has nothing to do with me. Su Yun really couldn't do anything. Song Xiongxiong, that's your nephew. If you don't admit it, I'll order my people to arrest you. Arrest me? I'm not afraid of crooked shadows. If my nephew really did something bad, you can punish him severely. But this has nothing to do with me. Song Xiongxiong said, I only know that what I did didn't break the law. Unless you have evidence to prove that I went to kill someone, or have already committed murder, don't waste my time. The two young policemen had already been stunned by Song Xiongxiong's words. They really didn't know how to deal with this situation. I'm telling you, you'd better let me go. My Song conglomerate has millions of dollars waiting for me to deal with. If you lock me up without any evidence and cause me financial losses, I'll sue you and make you pay for it. It doesn't matter if you can't afford it. I'll make you lose your jobs. Song Xiongxiong knew the psychology of the new policeman too well. Song Xiongxiong, I think you won't cry until you see the coffin. Su Yun chuckled. You're not telling the truth here. Fine, I'll apply to the higher-ups now to transfer you away and let my people interrogate you. When the time comes, I'll see if you'll still talk or not. Song Xiongxiong was startled. What do you mean? Nothing much. I just saw that you're having a good time, so I wanted to give you a change of environment. My environment is good, but I don't know if my subordinates are too impatient. Manager Song, if they do something to you, you have to endure it. They hate people who scream the most. You're threatening me. Song Xiongxiong shouted. Su Yun smiled disdainfully. Threaten? Aren't you threatening them as well? Are you bullying me because I'm a newbie? Song Xiongxiong, I didn't expect you to be so experienced. You've been here before, right? Fine, I'll find someone to check your background. I don't believe that I can't find anything wrong with you. Boss Sue, it's not that bad, is it? Just this small matter. Do you really intend to fight me to the death? Song Xiong said, let's both take a step back and let the world be clear. Even if I don't take a step back, it's still Conk Sky. Why should I take a step back? Su Yun said, Manager Song, you are in big trouble this time. He was suspected of hiring an assassin and illegally carrying guns and ammunition. You'll be severely punished by the law. As for your Song's group, I'll arrange someone to check it out. You're too cruel. Song Xiong gritted his teeth. Su Yun shook his head. I'm far worse than you. Hurry up and confess. Otherwise, I'll ask your nephew to testify for you now. At that time, it won't be easy for you to ask for leniency. Manager Song, you're a smart person. You have some connections. You're very clear about the pros and cons. Song Xiong had no way out. He could only grit his teeth and admit defeat. As long as Song Xiong confessed, his nephew wouldn't be able to escape. Moreover, he really needed to find his nephew for questioning. Perhaps his nephew could be of some help in the matter of Clay's death. Song Bei had probably been taken away now, but Song Xiong didn't know anything at all. The interrogation continued. According to the current situation, Song Xiong's attempted hiring an assassin was not a trivial matter. He would be sentenced to 3 to 5 years in prison. Lame Tiger would be sentenced to more than 5 years for violating the gun control regulations. Those who were involved in this matter would also be locked up for 1 or 2 years. They couldn't escape the punishment of the law. Of course, no one dared to say for sure before the matter was settled. After all, Song Xiong hadn't started to use his connections. He would be able to solve some of his troubles more or less. Su Yun received a call from the brigade. They asked him to return as soon as possible because they had found something. Su Yun ran faster than a rabbit. He drove back to the Dragon Brigade quickly. Wan Guangxiao asked him to come back. It meant that the matter was very important. They had a very important clue about the 2 people who killed Clay. Wan Guangxiao showed Su Yun the photos. 2 people arrived at the airport 8 hours ago on the international flight line. Their tickets were 7 hours later. This period of 7 hours was the time when Clay was killed. After the 2 people arrived at the airport, they didn't do anything. They just waited. After waiting for 5 hours, they took a taxi and left directly. According to the tracking of the taxi, the car finally went to the western suburbs. An hour later, the taxi came back. The driver was gone. The 2 people were driving. Now the taxi had been found in the parking lot of the airport, and the driver's body was also found in the western suburbs. The only thing that annoyed them was that the plane they took had taken off. Wan Guangxiao had basically concluded that the 2 people were also members of the Black Fox group. Their purpose of coming to Huaxia was very simple. They wanted to kill Clay and leave as soon as possible. They really did that. If it weren't for Song Xiong's act, Su Yun and the others might not have found Clay's body so early. The flight would transfer to a country in Southeast Asia in a few hours. As soon as the 2 people got off the plane, it would be impossible to catch them again. After all, the country's control in this regard was too weak. Should we inform the police in advance and let them seal the airport? Su Yun, we can't let them escape so easily, right? We can't do that. Once we do that, it is likely to turn into a hijacking incident. At that time, it will be really troublesome. Wan Guangxiao said, after all, they are members of the Black Fox group. We can't be careless. We don't dare to act rashly. Su Yun gritted his teeth in hatred. These people were too powerful. After coming to Huaxia, they didn't panic. After calculating the time, they directly found Clay and killed him. Then, they rushed back to the airport with the most accurate time and immediately boarded the plane to leave. Phew, incredible. At this time, Matthew and a few brothers of the research consortium rushed over to report the results. Seeing that Su Yun was also there, Matthew punched him on the shoulder. Cheer up. At least now it shows that the Black Fox Group is very afraid of us. They don't dare to provoke Hua Xia. After that, Matthew handed the report to Wan Guangxiao. Chief, your judgment is really accurate. There is indeed a problem with their tattoos. The two guys could find Clay so clearly because they could check Clay's location at any time. The tattoo on Clay's arm is the fox head tattoo of the Black Fox Group. There is a special liquid crystal inside. This is the locator he carries with him. The people of the Black Fox Group can find his location at any time and accurately calculate the time to go back and forth. Phew, his uncle. The assassin organizations nowadays are too hardworking. They are starting to play with high-tech. How can they let people live? The Black Fox Group. It's worthy of being an organization that gives so many countries headaches. It's very powerful. Wan Guangxiao laughed. Su Yun, it seems that we have lost. Damn it! Su Yun cursed in his heart. The chief was right. They had lost. Letting the two people leave Hua Xia's territory was a loss. What made Su Yun unable to swallow this anger was that not only did they kill Clay, but they also caused irreparable damage to an ordinary taxi driver. Damn the Black Fox Group. I must make you pay with your blood. In the future, as long as anyone dared to come to Hua Xia's territory, Su Yun would never let them go. If one came, he would kill one. If two came, he would destroy a pair. Even if they didn't come in the future, Su Yun would not let them go. As long as I know that your Black Fox Group is accurate, I will bring people to destroy you. I will let you know the consequences and the price of angering Hua Xia's special forces. Damn it! When Su Yun's fist slammed heavily on the wall, everyone felt his anger. Chapter 1901. Victory and defeat are common in war. This is nothing at all. Wan Guangxiao said, the only thing we have to be careful about now is that since the Black Fox Group dared to come here for the first time, they will be able to leave safely. This will give them the courage to think that they can enter and exit Hua Xia easily. Su Yun clenched his fists. This means that they are very likely to come to Hua Xia again to commit crimes. We didn't give them psychological pressure and deterrence. This is all my fault. I didn't solve this matter as quickly as possible. If I solved this matter as quickly as possible, there wouldn't be the current trouble. It doesn't make sense to say this now. Wan Guangxiao said, Su Yun, I just hope that if the people of the Black Fox Group come to Hua Xia again, you can take your group of brothers to arrest them immediately and let them give an explanation for the blood debt they committed today. Do you understand? I understand. Su Yun's words were not just empty words. For this failure, Su Yun must remember it in his heart, and he must find an opportunity to make up for this mistake. No matter what, all of this was the responsibility that Su Yun should bear. Wan Guangxiao did not comfort Su Yun because he shouldered the responsibility on his shoulders. Instead, he patted him heavily on the shoulder. The more failures, the heavier the burden on your shoulders. If you don't want the burden on your shoulders to be too heavy, then you have to try your best to avoid your own failures. Do you understand what I mean? Su Yun looked at Wan Guangxiao's departing figure and couldn't calm down for a long time. He was no longer executing this mission as a captain of the special forces. He was executing it as a commander in charge of the overall situation. If he could have realized the existence of the danger earlier and arranged for teams to go to the airport, the station, and other important places to set up defenses, then the criminal suspects wouldn't have escaped. Hua Xia would also be the first country to bring the killers of the Black Fox Group to justice. But now, what was the situation? The Black Fox Group taught him a lesson and showed him the level of the Black Fox Group. They showed him that the Black Fox Group was a mysterious organization that even Hua Xia couldn't do anything about. He lost all his face. This was Su Yun's performance in leading the overall situation for the first time. Damn it! Su Yun really didn't know how much pressure Wan leader would have to bear from the higher-ups for him this time. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have been so conceited and let Wang Yi take command of the operation. With his experience, he would definitely guarantee of everything. Su Yun was so upset that he could not lift his mood at all. He kept questioning himself. Had the slack life outside caused him to lose the basic ability to be a member of the Special Forces? He wouldn't have made such a small mistake in the past, right? Su Yun sat alone on the field with a crate of beer under his butt. He took out a bottle, opened it, and downed it in one gulp. A few minutes later, he took out another bottle and downed it. Unfortunately, this kind of low alcohol couldn't make him drown his sorrows in alcohol. Instead, it was more like a way to quench his thirst. The brothers all knew how frustrated Su Yun was now, so no one dared to go up to him and say anything. But when they saw Su Yun like this, they felt very sorry for him. Although he had made a mistake, this kind of mistake was inevitable. After all, Su Yun was a human, not a god. It was already very good for him to be able to take on such a big responsibility for the first time. Qian Feng had no choice but to go and invite Yu Marin over, hoping that she could counsel Su Yun and not let Su Yun sink into self-blame. This was a kind of psychological injury. As a doctor, Yu Marin would definitely have a way to deal with it. Of course, Yu Marin was also worried about Su Yun, but she didn't go up to counsel Su Yun. I can't help him. At this time, he needs to think through all of this by himself. Other people's persuasions are meaningless. Don't worry too much about him. I believe he's not that weak. Then we just wait and watch? Watch? Qian Feng asked. Yu Marin shook her head helplessly. Actually, at this time, if someone with the same experience could talk to him, maybe the results would be better. But obviously, I don't have this kind of experience with any of you, let alone any experience. We've all experienced all kinds of dangerous missions. It's not like we haven't failed before. We all have experience. Hua Xiaolu said, Boss has experience too. It's not that bad. When a warrior bears the responsibility, it can only be said to be a failure. It's a kind of pure self-blame. Beauty, you said, but as a controller, it's not a mistake. It's a complete failure. The punishment isn't just self-reproach. It's a punishment that everyone in the brigade has to bear because of his mistake. This kind of self-blame pressure isn't something an ordinary person can bear. His current performance is already very good. Phew. Everyone couldn't help but be shocked. It turned out that Su Yun was in so much pain now. That kind of pressure was really not something they could imagine. Little Yu is right. That's indeed the case. This kind of pressure is indeed not something an ordinary person can bear. But Su Yun has to bear it. Unknowingly, Wang Yi suddenly appeared behind the crowd. Everyone turned around with a look of surprise on their faces. When Yu Marin saw Wang Yi, it was as if she saw hope. Deputy Commander, you must have endured this kind of pressure before. You have experience in this area. The only person who can help him now is you. Wang Yi nodded. Under everyone's expectant gaze, he smiled slightly and said, I'll do my best. Su Yun was still drinking beer bottle by bottle. He didn't realize that Wang Yi had already walked behind him. When Su Yun noticed, Wang Yi was already sitting beside him. Why? Drinking alone because of such a small matter? Su Yun was shocked. Moss. Don't say anything. Get me a bottle of beer. Wang Yi directly interrupted Su Yun. What's the point of drinking alone? When it comes to drinking, the more people there are, the more comfortable it is to drink. Of course, these people I'm talking about have to be your brothers. It's hard to even drink with those messy people. What do you think? Su Yun nodded. He opened the bottle for Wang Yi. The two of them clinked bottles and then drank a few mouthfuls. The two of them are drinking. Hey, look, they're clinking bottles. Hua Xiaolu stared intently. It's a good thing that they're drinking. Yu Marin said, I think we should all leave for a while. Qian Feng, what about you? Come and check every half an hour. If there's no more beer, go and carry a box for them. If there's more, don't join them. Stay away. Qian Feng said, my mission is to. Isn't it? Can you complete it? If you can't, I'll switch to someone else, Yu Marin said. Yes. Of course, I can complete it. It's such a simple mission. I guarantee it. Qian Feng said, actually, I also want to join them and drink a few bottles. Hee hee. If you have the chance to deliver the beer a third time, I believe they'll invite you to sit down. But it's impossible now because the deputy chief has something to say to Su Yun. So, you guys can't disturb them. Understand? Yu Meiren said again, those who understand, leave with me. Don't worry, Su Yun will definitely be fine. Although Han Zhan was worried, he was the first to stand up and leave. I hope so. I believe boss will definitely be fine. Yes, we all believe that boss will be fine. Hua Leiteng also led everyone. Brothers, let's go back. No matter what happened today, we still have to train as usual tomorrow. So, don't fall behind because of today's incident. Everyone left. Only Su Yun and Wang Yi were left on the field. Chapter 1902. There's nothing terrible about failure. What's terrible is the psychological state that you can't face after failure. Wang Yi smiled as he drank. Do you know why the Corps has always trusted me so much? My brothers, my comrades, they are all so excellent. Their individual combat ability and leadership ability are much stronger than mine. Why did the Corps let me lead you? Su Yun was stunned. Because your leadership ability is higher than theirs. That's why the Corps has always trusted you. Moreover, your ability to adapt is better than too many people's. Today, if I didn't lead the overall situation, or if you personally went to the field, maybe this situation wouldn't have happened. Su Yun, you're wrong. I can take on so many tasks and lead the overall situation. It's not because my ability is much better than others, it's just that my endurance is better than others. Wang Yi said, no matter what the result is, I can bear it. It can also be said that if I can't bear failure, I can't be a good commander. After a moment of silence, Wang Yi continued, in fact, there's no guarantee that this task will be given to anyone. That's why the Corps assigned the task to you. When they made you the chief commander, they considered the probability of success or failure of this task. Su Yun was a little shocked. The Corps knew that I would fail. Why did they give it to me? Why? Because no matter who this task is given to, they will fail. Wang Yi said, based on our understanding of the Black Fox Group, it's impossible to succeed. So this matter is destined to fail from the beginning. This has nothing to do with whether you're the overall commander or not. Whether it's me or anyone else, they will fail. Su Yun frowned tightly. Did the Corps just want him to bear the inexplicable pain and uneasiness brought to him by this failure? If that was the case, he admitted that the Corps really succeeded. It succeeded in making him uneasy. He was on the verge of a mental breakdown right now. Was this the real training? For Su Yun, the tasks that could be taken down were obviously not real training. For Su Yun, the real training was to complete the tasks that he knew he could not complete. Then, he would bear the uneasiness and anxiety that such failure would bring him. Su Yun could only truly grow into a leader by bearing the anxiety and uneasiness brought by such failures over and over again. No leader was nurtured through smooth sailing. They were all tempered through failure after failure. Because only by failing too many times and never wanting to experience that kind of torture and pain again, a commander would be more patient and cautious in commanding an operation. Failure was the mother of success. No one in the world could reach the peak without a single setback. However, Su Yun's status was different. Wan Guangxiao could not give Su Yun a mission that he was certain of winning to practice, because any failure of Su Yun's would bring a huge risk. Therefore, if Wan Guangxiao wanted to use failure to train him, he could only use this kind of uncertain mission to test him. They really didn't know anything about the Black Fox Group. Therefore, from the beginning, Wan Guangxiao was prepared for the worst. Wang Yi also knew that no matter who handled this matter, the possibility of failure was very high. The Black Fox Group was a group of people who could leave safely after showing off in the United States National Defense Building. Based on this alone, they had almost no chance of winning. Therefore, This mission that was destined to fail was handed over to Su Yun. You have to bear these things, Wang Yi said. Only by bearing these things can you become a real commander. Only by learning to bear failure can you bear success. These things are closely related. You have to learn slowly. I can only tell you that I've faced far more failures than you have. Su Yun's heart was a little calmer. Thank you. Drink slowly. When you're done, remember to clean up your things. Wang Yi said, I'm preparing for intensive training tomorrow morning. 30 kilometers with weights as a warm-up. I'll train you guys properly when I come back. You haven't trained like this in a long time, right? Tomorrow, you'll train with Dragon's Fury. I drank too much. I didn't hear anything just now. Su Yun heard that his master was too ruthless and quickly played dumb. I don't care if you heard it or not, Wang Yi said. If you fail the mission, you have to train. You guys need to be trained. If I don't train you guys to the ground, it'll be my dereliction of duty. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're venting your anger on us. So what? I'm venting my anger on you guys. What can you do? You still have to bear with it. Wang Yi said, it's your fault for not completing this mission. If you complete the mission, I definitely won't train you guys anymore. Su Yun could only smile bitterly. Didn't he say that this was an impossible mission? If it was impossible, why did he still train them? You can't blame society for your hard life. You can only blame yourself for making the wrong choice. Then I won't drink anymore. I'll take the time to sleep. I really want to train with you guys tomorrow. I haven't exercised like this in a long time. Su Yun got up and stretched, stretching his muscles. Wang Yi wanted Su Yun to be in such a state now, throwing all the failures to the back of his mind. A true powerhouse didn't need to blame himself for failure. A true powerhouse needed to think about tomorrow and the next time. Wang Yi knew very well what Su Yun was thinking. Su Yun wanted to train himself hard so that he would remember this failure. The next time he faced the Black Fox group, he would never fail again. It was not terrible to fail once, but if he lost to the same opponent twice, it would really be a problem of ability. Su Yun did not want to betray the trust of the head squad and master. He swore that he would not let the members of the Black Fox group escape from him. He would capture every single one of them. He would never let them escape from his hands again. Late at night, the Dragon God Special Operations Group was exceptionally quiet. In a secret meeting room in the Scientific Research Information Building, there were more than 10 people sitting there. The lowest rank among them was a senior colonel. These people's eyes were focused on the only person holding a computer. This person was Matthew, who was only a lieutenant colonel. It was already amazing that he could be promoted to such a rank in such a short period of time. Of course, this was not out of consideration or pity, but because Matthew had made too many contributions. Although he had never participated in actual combat, everything that the Scientific Research Consortium did behind the scenes was too important. Not only was it important to the Dragon Brigade, but it was also important to the entire country. Matthew had proposed some plans to improve weapons, and they were already on the agenda. A country's strength depended not only on its economy, but also on its military strength. It was like saying that no matter how smart a top student was, if he didn't have any muscles, he would still be beaten up by a hooligan. If a top student had a body full of muscles, no hooligan would dare to touch him. Of course, the top student here referred to Hua Xia, and the hooligan referred to Japan. Matthew wanted to equip Hua Xia with his smart brain so that Hua Xia could have a body full of muscles. What he was doing now was not to train Hua Xia's muscles. He was investigating what secrets the Black Fox Group had stolen from the previous countries. This question was also very important to Hua Xia. They had to verify as soon as possible whether the Black Fox Group had obtained the information they wanted. Furthermore, they had to strictly control this aspect in the future. They could not let the Black Fox Group have another chance. Matthew's talent in computing was definitely not inferior to his talent in weaponry. He had a way to investigate things that they wanted to know. His fingers were rapidly typing something on the keyboard. He was also very nervous, and his forehead was covered in sweat. There was no smoke in the war on the computer. Although Matthew did not shed any blood, he was still carrying out his mission. Now that so many leaders were waiting for his results, of course he would be nervous. Matthew, don't worry. Old bones like us can endure it. Take it slow. Wan Guangxiao comforted him. In fact, Matthew had been working here for more than 10 hours. After confirming that the Black Fox group had escaped, he had been working hard in front of the computer to do what he needed to do. He was really going to pursue this matter to the end. If he couldn't find out the truth, he would not be able to sleep or eat in peace. Chapter 1903. Finally, after Matthew sorted out the evidence from many aspects, he came to a conclusion that almost shocked him. The purpose of the Black Fox group was really shocking. Sir, from all the evidence, the countries that the Black Fox group invaded were all technologically advanced, especially in the robotics industry. Whether it was the United States or Japan, they were all developed in this area. Matthew said, although they also stole some secrets of other countries and blackmailed the governments of other countries, they also stole all the research results of these countries in robotics technology. Wan Guangxiao frowned. Why would an assassin organization want these technological things? Could it be that they also wanted to do scientific research? This reminds me of a news story a few days ago. Matthew said, the theme is that humans can't suppress the desire to upgrade. This desire to upgrade makes some rich people want to upgrade themselves into cyborgs. Everyone had seen this news before, but when Matthew brought it up now, the shock they felt was unprecedented. Because when everyone saw this news before, they were shocked about what the future would be. Now that they heard Matthew talk about this problem, they could even see what the future would be like. Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Professor Yuval Noah Halali said that humans would change a lot in the future. The rich might become godlike cyborgs. This would be the most significant biological evolution since the emergence of life. Professor Halali said that through biotechnology and genetic engineering, the rich would become a new type of sacred, immortal human, and even have the ability to control life and death. Obviously, this trend was the most significant biological evolution since the emergence of life on Earth. No human could resist the temptation to upgrade themselves. Humans were naturally dissatisfied. Even if they had happiness and achievements, they still felt that it was not enough. They wanted more and more things. Of course, if you wanted to upgrade yourself into a cyborgs, you definitely had to have a lot of money. Because Professor Halali also said that the difference between humans and us in the future was as big as the difference between chimpanzees and us. However, the technology involved could only be afforded by the very rich. Actually, if you think about it carefully, from ancient times to the present, human society was maintained by the invention of fictional things. For example, the ancient Huaxiar emperor was the true dragon son of heaven, and the concept of God's blessings. As long as humans believed that they were becoming more and more dependent on these gods, humans could be controlled. However, with centuries of continuous social progress, human beings became more and more powerful. They no longer needed gods as the pillar of society. Some technological fanatics even proposed that death was just a technical problem. And these technological fanatics were definitely the kind of people who didn't need God, only technology. They believed that technology could change everything and even control life and death. If someone had suggested this a few hundred years ago, they would have been arrested like a lunatic. But now, look at what technology has brought to mankind. Everything that technology brought to mankind was inconceivable. No one could object to that, right? Therefore, the theory of digitalized humans was definitely possible. Otherwise, everything these mad scientists had done for this goal would be meaningless. Huaxia's technology had always been underdeveloped. This had something to do with the fact that many technological talents had gone to America's Silicon Valley to show off. It was as if it would be a waste of talent if they did not go to Silicon Valley. They did not even consider that they were raised by the Yellow River. If he went to Silicon Valley, he might not be able to acclimatize and his IQ would drop. But even so, Huaxia had unmanned factories, and the frontline production was purely mechanized. This proved that human technology was very, very great, and human society seemed to be evolving from humans controlling technology to technology controlling humans. There were a lot of movies like this. When technology completely controlled mankind, it would definitely bring about a catastrophe, a disaster. Therefore, this kind of technological man and digitalized human research was a secret for each country. Human genes were different, so the way they thought about problems was different. No one would think too comprehensively. Asians might prefer to think about how the ability of electronic machines could enter the human body, while Europeans and Americans might prefer to think about how the human spirit could enter the interior of electronic machines. Their research directions were different, and it was impossible for everyone to share their results in this area, so the research in this area did not go so smoothly. However, if the Black Fox Group got their hands on these secrets, they could integrate them. If they had smart enough people, it was very likely that they could solve the problems encountered by both sides together. This way, it would not be a problem of electronic machines entering the human body, nor would it be a problem of the human spirit entering the electronic machine. This would become a study of the integration of the human spirit and body with electronic machines. This seemed to be more likely to achieve the possibility of becoming an electronic technological man. Phew! The Black Fox Group was really ambitious. Wan Guangxiao's heart sank. Huaxia was not far behind in this area of research, but due to the technological gap, Huaxia had to admit that it was far inferior to the American Empire and Japan. Of course, this problem was not something that could be solved in a short period of time. This problem needed time to solve. The most basic point was that Huaxia wanted to retain scientific research talents and not let these people go to work for the American Empire after learning something. This was a very important situation. However, Huaxia was a socialist country. Everyone was equal and everyone had the freedom to choose. If a person's heart had already flown to the American Empire, forcing them to stay in Huaxia would not achieve much. Therefore, Huaxia was weak in terms of technology. Perhaps the reason why the Black Fox Group did not come to Huaxia was not only because they were afraid of Huaxia's special forces, but also because they looked down on Huaxia and thought that Huaxia was backward in this area. Therefore, they did not want to come here at all. People who often paid attention to the news should have heard of the Immortality Project. This project had been proposed for several years and was also called the Avatar Project. It was proposed at the International Conference on the Global Future held in Moscow. It claimed that they would launch a high-tech research project with the ultimate goal of immortality. They would transplant the human mind into the body of a machine to achieve immortality. Hundreds of scientists had been hired for this research and were looking for more scientists to participate. This project, called Avatar, would lead people on the road to immortality. In fact, humans had begun to walk the path of getting rid of the physical existence. The first stage of creating a robot controlled by the human brain was just around the corner. Why did the Black Fox Group provoke the UA Empire? Why did they go to the UA Empire's Department of Defense building, which was full of agents? In fact, the UA Empire's Department of Defense's Advanced Research Projects Agency was already working on this through a project called Avatar. The Pentagon hoped to create a brain-machine interface that would allow soldiers to control bipedal robots with their minds. In the report of the UA Empire's Department of Defense's Advanced Research Projects Agency, it was disclosed that a huge amount of US dollars had been allocated for the Avatar project. The ultimate goal was to achieve the goal of allowing human soldiers to control humanoid robots with their minds to participate in the war, so that real people could stay away from dangerous battlefields. The Black Fox Group's ambition is really big. They want to start a revolution in human evolution. Wan Guangxiao sighed. This matter was not only related to Huaxia, it was related to all humans on Earth. I don't believe that an assassin organization can have this ability. Even if this thing is possible, it will be a matter of hundreds of years later. It's too early for us to worry about it now. A lieutenant general shook his head. Matthew shook his head a little absent-mindedly. No, it's not that far away. Humans are making progress in the field of neural networks, microchips that imitate the living brain, and computers that imitate the functions of the human brain. They have already created various artificial organs. So what? Although the human brain is the most complex of them all, it's only a matter of time and determination to follow a certain line of reasoning and create a neural analog. Matthew said, time. I'm afraid that with the current level of human technology, it won't take as long as a few hundred years. Maybe our generation can really see the scene of humanoid robots running all over the streets. It won't be a movie by then. Chapter 1904. If that's the case, we can't let the Black Fox Group succeed. Even a government wouldn't be able to control this situation, let alone an organization. Wan Guangxiao felt a wave of melancholy. If the Black Fox Group controls this technology, it will be a disaster for all humans on Earth. That's right. Matthew said, a long time ago, someone from the UA Empire invited me to participate in the research of this project at the Department of Defense. But I refused. Under certain circumstances, I don't think the current level of human development is enough to carry out this kind of research. This question was actually a very serious one, because it would cause very serious social unrest. When the gap between people had reached the point of life and death, what kind of situation would occur? Since ancient times, there was no such thing as immortality. Many people would do anything to obtain immortality. Once the Black Fox Group took control of Project Immortality and the technology of the cyborgs, the entire world would be under their control. If they could control the right to immortality, it would mean that they would become the rulers of the world. The capable and wealthy people in the world would definitely be willing to submit to them for immortality. This was a problem that couldn't be overthought. The more one thought about it, the more terrifying it would be. Matthew, if the Black Fox Group gave you a chance to live forever and let you work for them, would you be tempted? Wan Guangxiao didn't know why he asked this question. Matthew paused for a moment. After a brief consideration, he gave an honest answer, I don't know. I will say this before it becomes a certainty. But if I really face this kind of temptation, I might not be able to control my own selfish desires. Wan Guangxiao nodded. Yes, no one could control the desire to upgrade. The concept of immortality would drive anyone crazy just thinking about it. It was terrifying. The Black Fox Group was truly terrifying. What they wanted wasn't money, wealth, or power. What they wanted was to rule over humanity. It was destined to be a sleepless night for everyone. Although this was only a guess of the Black Fox Group's purpose, it was enough to make people tremble in fear. No one really knew if the Black Fox Group really had such a goal. Perhaps even the members of the Black Fox Group only knew very little about this secret. This wasn't something that could be taken out to show off. The fewer people who knew about this, the better. If only Clay wasn't dead, then they could try interrogating him. Unfortunately, they didn't have a single clue. Matthew was already tired enough. After he returned to the dormitory, he quickly fell asleep. In his dreams, he was also thinking about Project Immortality. Many years ago, when he first heard about this plan, he thought that it would take at least 100 years for human society to consider this problem and do it. He really didn't expect that someone would start a real plan so soon. This person didn't even belong to the government or the country, but was just a group of individuals. Hopefully, the Black Fox Group wouldn't be so lucky and wouldn't succeed so easily. Phew, this was really too terrifying. Su Yun hadn't participated in military training for a long time. The 30-kilometer weight-bearing cross-country warm-up run had to be completed within an hour, and 50 minutes was considered an excellent result. How fast did it need to be? Everyone could imagine that it was at least faster than an ordinary electric bicycle. Moreover, they had to walk on a cross-country mountain road. It was really harsh. However, if it wasn't for such harsh training, how could Su Yun and his brothers become the almighty they were today? Even so, Su Yun still felt that the training wasn't enough. If they had trained harder, perhaps they wouldn't have given the Black Fox Group a chance to escape. Everyone could see that Su Yun was now ruthless. He was almost venting all the energy that he didn't release yesterday. Only by doing so could he completely release the anger in his heart. Boss. Phew. Slow down, wait for me. Phew. Chen Feng quickened his pace to catch up with Su Yun. Su Yun casually glanced at Chen Feng. Is that all you can do? You've only run a few steps and you're already panting. You've been training all day, but you can't last as long as me, who doesn't train at all. I think we should tell the main team to increase the intensity of the training. No. Phew, I'm maintaining my strength. Adjusting my breathing. Chen Feng didn't even dare to breathe loudly after hearing Su Yun's words. He wasn't like this usually. Now, he was anxious because of Su Yun's situation. His heart was in a mess, which caused his breathing to be uneven. Otherwise, the intensity of the warm-up training wouldn't have caused him to have such a reaction. Seeing that Chen Feng had adjusted, Su Yun quickened his pace again. Boss, don't mess with me. I just adjusted. Chen Feng said, why are you running so fast? It's only 10 kilometers. There are still 20 kilometers to go. 1 hour is enough. There's no need to rush. Your way of thinking is wrong. Even if it's just a warm-up training, you have to show me the ability to break through your limits. Su Yun didn't know where he got the energy to lecture people. He had already lectured the brothers in the Dragon's Fury team. Now that he was lecturing them, they would probably accept it happily. Thinking of this, Su Yun suddenly raised his voice. Dragon Fury team, listen up. There are still 20 kilometers. 20 minutes have passed. Now the rules have changed. You're not qualified in 50 minutes. You're qualified in 45 minutes. Those who are not qualified will do an additional 50 kilometers of weighted cross-country training after tonight's training. After saying this, Su Yun directly took the lead and rushed forward. This time, the brothers of the Dragon's Fury Special Forces were dumbfounded. According to the normal speed, running 10 kilometers in 20 minutes would be easily completed within an hour. They wouldn't even be out of breath. However, Su Yun suddenly changed the rules. There were only 25 minutes left. If they wanted to run 20 kilometers, they would have to double their speed. What the F***CK? Boss wants to train us. Gong Sun Lung almost wanted to cry. Although 1 hour was the time set by Wang Yi, now as long as Su Yun was there, Su Yun had the right to change their training at any time. Hua Xiaolu glared fiercely at Chen Feng. Damn you, what did you say? I asked you to comfort boss, not to provoke him. Boss wants to make an example out of us. AI, today is not going to be easy. You still have the energy to whisper? Do you want me to change the time to 40 minutes? Su Yun shouted first. Han Zhan quickly shut them up. Hurry up and run. If you don't want to be trained to death, shut up from now on. The brothers in the Dragon's Fury team rushed up as if they had been injected with chicken blood. 45 minutes, so be it. There was no difficulty that couldn't be overcome. In the Divine Dragon Special Forces, all difficulties were paper tigers. As long as they wanted to do it, they would definitely be able to do it. Seeing that the brothers in the Dragon's Fury team were crazy, the brothers in the other teams were somewhat gloating. Ma Tingfei from the Dragon's Prestige team laughed and joked. We have a good show to watch today. Haha, let's see how they will be beaten down by Leader Yen. Haha. Ha ha ha. Yes, we are waiting to watch a good show. Is it funny? Gong Jiuxiao, the captain of the Dragon's Prestige team, suddenly roared. You don't understand Yen Long, but I do. I have been competing with him for many years. Let me tell you, he just wants to prove that his people are stronger than ours. Humph, this won't do. Even if I was convinced by him last time, can you be convinced? Can our Dragon's Prestige people be convinced by Dragon's Fury's people? No way. Ma Tingfei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's over. They were going to be trained to death this time. Everyone in the Dragon's Prestige team, cheer up. If they can reach in 45 minutes, we can also reach in 45 minutes. Everyone, go. If anyone can't finish in 45 minutes, don't eat for the rest of the day. Gong Jiuxiao was full of energy. He wanted to compete with Su Yun. And this wasn't just a competition between him and Su Yun, there was also a competition between the Special Forces abilities. He couldn't let Dragon's Fury steal the limelight again. Under the lead of these two teams, all the other teams joined in the invisible competition of fighting for honor. No one wanted to be the last team to return to the finish line. They couldn't afford to lose that face. 45 minutes. So be it. Wasn't it just breaking through the limit? What couldn't they do? Let's go. Chapter 1905. Su Yun's lecture early in the morning really made the brothers miserable. After running back, their legs and stomachs were all trembling. But there was one good thing. No one was left behind. This was the result Su Yun wanted. He wanted no one to be left behind. What was the Dragon Brigade? It was the strongest team. A team didn't refer to one person. If one person was left behind, it wouldn't be the Dragon Brigade anymore. Everyone reached the finish line in 42 or 43 minutes. The slowest person was unexpected. It was Hua Leitang, but he also reached the finish line in 45 minutes. They were all brothers, so they knew very well that this wasn't Hua Leitang's style. Su Yun was the first to walk up and ask, "Why didn't you tell me you were injured?" "If I had to report such a small injury, then I wouldn't be worthy of being a member of the Dragon's Fury Special Forces." Hua Leitang smiled slightly. He didn't lose face. He reached the finish line in the allotted time. This was his victory. No matter the situation, no matter the reason, they couldn't not complete the mission. This was the spirit of the Dragon Fury team. "Where are you hurt?" Su Yun was worried. He was afraid that his sudden increase in training would cause Hua Leitang's injury to worsen. "Just a little waist injury." Hua Leitang shook his head helplessly. "When you brought people overseas to investigate that matter, there was a very vicious kidnapping of over 100 hostages at the border of Beijing and Tianjin. The mission was handed over to Dragon's Fury. I accidentally injured myself during the mission." Su Yun was very surprised. Who dared to commit such a big crime at the border of Beijing and Tianjin? "I was injured because I underestimated the enemy." Hua Leitang blamed himself even more. "I thought it was just a normal criminal gang. But I didn't expect these criminals to be so professional and well-trained. They looked like an organized mercenary group, but they were a bit lacking in maturity." What was the result? Su Yun was startled. This kind of thing was really a headache. They had to eliminate the source of the problem. Hua Leitang's mood improved a lot. "We have to annihilate them all. Otherwise, Dragon's Fury will really lose face." Following the survivors, we continued to pursue them. At the port of Beijing and Tianjin, we encircled and annihilated all those who wanted to escape. In the end, the entire ship was sunk. Not a single one was spared. Only by completely eliminating them would they be safe enough. Wang Yi knew that after Su Yun came back today, these guys would complete the mission ahead of time. When it came to training, he felt that he was already ruthless enough, but Su Yun was definitely more ruthless than him. Only Su Yun would be able to make these fellows, who had already run 10 kilometers with weights, run another 20 kilometers at a speed that was almost equivalent to an average car driving in the city. However, Wang Yi approved of this kind of training very much. Wang Yi understood why Su Yun was so cruel to them. This was because Su Yun had experienced the pain of losing a brother during a dangerous mission. Su Yun was cruel to them during training because he didn't want to lose any of them during a dangerous mission. And the best way to prevent this kind of thing from happening was to make his brothers stronger, even stronger than before. Only when there was no one at the top could they be safer. That was the only reason why Su Yunhui did this. It was that simple. Maintaining high-intensity training was the most basic thing to make them stronger. "Su Yun, I knew you were going to raise the standard for these guys." Wang Yi smiled. In fact, even if Su Yun didn't raise the standard for them today, he would have increased the time to 50 minutes in the next few days. This was because he knew that these guys should be undergoing a limit breakthrough. Su Yun's appearance made this limit breakthrough even more temporary. This was even better because it could test them more. In the future, our 30-kilometer warm-up cross-country with weights will take 45 minutes to pass. If you want to get outstanding, you'll have to run under 40 minutes. Wang Yi clapped his hands and said to everyone, "You should thank your instructor Yen Long, ha ha ha. If he didn't come back, I wouldn't have the heart to speed you guys up today. This is because you guys still have to face a limit breakthrough in other aspects of training today. Guys, eat more for breakfast and replenish your energy." Breakfast time was the only chance to take a breather before the morning training. It was also a time that everyone liked. "Su Yun, come with me," Wang Yi said. "Today is the time to come to a conclusion about Wen Zhao's matter. Don't lecture them anymore, although I know you want to see how these brats have improved. But compared to Wen Zhao's matter, I think you should be more concerned about him." Su Yun was stunned for a moment. He didn't rush back to Qingdao to report his safety because of Wen Zhao's matter. Now that Wen Zhao's matter had been approved, his heart was in his throat. "Shizuan, he'll be fine, right?" Wang Yi shook his head. "I'm not sure about that. I just heard that the document came down. Right now, the only one who knows about his situation is probably Wan Leader. Let's go. Come with me to ask him. No matter what, Wan Xiao is still a soldier that I trained." "Then let's go now," Su Yun said anxiously. "Even if you're in a hurry, you still have to eat before going. Even if you don't eat, the whole team still has to eat." Wang Yi grabbed Su Yun, who almost rushed out. "Don't worry. I believe the results won't be too bad." After all, Wen Xiao can be considered to have redeemed himself in this overseas mission. Su Yun nodded vigorously. Yes, he contributed the most. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have been able to complete the mission unscathed. We'll know the results after eating. Let's go. Wang Yi patted Su Yun's shoulder. After breakfast, Su Yun couldn't wait to drag Wang Yi to Wan Guangxiao's office to wait for him. When Wan Guangxiao came to the office and saw Su Yun, he was slightly stunned. "I say, kid, you've really become lazy now. Since you've decided to stay in the brigade for 2 days, you should go train when it's time to train. Why are you here? Drinking tea and chatting?" Su Yun was so anxious that he scratched his head. As long as he told him about Wen Zhao's situation, he wouldn't have a problem even if he had to train for 2 months. "Don't make things difficult for him." Wang Yi smiled slightly. When he heard about Wen Zhao's results, his whole heart flew over to you. If you let him train, wouldn't he break the record for the worst result in history? Then it's his own fault. Wan Guangxiao said, "You can't blame anyone else." "Commander, don't keep me in suspense." "Tell me, I beg you," Su Yun said. "I'll do anything you want me to do. I'll stay in the brigade and train for 1 month. Is that okay?" "Go, go, go. Don't make it sound like I want you to stay in the brigade." Wan Guangxiao said, "I've heard about it. When you came back, you increased the training. If you train my people badly, who can I reason with?" Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Then you can state your conditions." "I'll state my conditions? When I have time to go to Qingdao for a vacation, how are you going to arrange it for me?" Wan Guangxiao said with a smile. 5-star hotel suites. You can have as many as you want. Your family will stay in 1 suite. Prepare another suite for luggage. Su Yun said, "Eat, drink, and play. Leave everything to me. I guarantee that you'll feel at home." Wan Guangxiao laughed. "That's too extravagant. Are you trying to turn me into a corrupt person? That's a mistake in thinking. 20 push-ups. Start." Su Yun accepted his punishment. He lay down and did the push-ups. As he did, he said, "Standard room. I'll prepare it. Eat the specialties. Shop the specialties." "Okay, get up. Let me tell you about Wen Zhao's situation," Wan Guangxiao said. "Actually, he's doing pretty well." "Don't worry." Su Yun got up and stared with his eyes wide open. "Where is he now?" "He's preparing to break out of prison." Wan Guangxiao smiled slightly. We need him to cooperate with the Shenzhen City Police to complete a special mission. We need to investigate the evidence of an international criminal organization in China. The police need an undercover that can be trusted by the other party, and Wen Xiao is the most suitable person for this. Su Yun was very surprised by this result. Another thing that surprised him was that Qin Wan was a Shenzhen police officer. It seemed that she was in big trouble again. As long as Wen Xiao can redeem himself and solve this big case, the organization will be wiped clean. The organization will wipe away all the stains on him and he will once again become a member of our Divine Dragon Brigade. Wan Guangxiao said, "This is not just a simple undercover mission. It's also a test for him." Su Yun nodded. This was probably the best result for Wan Xiao. At least he had a chance to prove himself and return to the Dragon Brigade. But the premise was that he had to find evidence of the crime during the undercover mission and survive. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.